American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
It's a story that started in a community like ours. Cal Cunningham grew up in Lexington, where church youth groups working at the local brickyard and McDonald's shaped his life. And now Cal's running a different kind of campaign for the U.S. Senate.
I'm Cal Cunningham. I want my service in the U.S. Senate to be about listening and going places where Democrats don't always go. That's what I learned growing up in Lexington, where we don't check voter registration before taking care of our neighbors. We believe in hard work and service, just like the soldiers I served with overseas.
Cal Cunningham volunteered after 9/11, a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve who served 3 tours and took on corrupt government contractors. And Cal will take on the corruption in Washington that's been rigging the system for the drug and insurance companies. That's why Cal's not taking corporate PAC money, because he believes the top 1% don't need more favors. It's regular folks who need a voice. He'll be a senator on our side.
I'm Cal Cunningham, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Cal for NC.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
And Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation.
I believe in them. The reason I'm disappointed is because I think we've got some of the best running backs in the league. I think we got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think we got some of the best receivers in the league. And I have high expectations for them. They should be encouraged. I'm encouraged. But we got to get to the point where we're flipping that switch, where we're 10-7 and we're converting those drives into touchdowns, taking the lead against a good opponent at home, and you have a chance to really build and have, one of those big wins. We want to stick the ball in the end zone. I don't care how it gets there. We want to run the football and we want to throw the football. We want to be effective doing both. I expect to see us vastly improved offensively this week. We're looking forward to getting down there and competing. You're always going to be ready to go on the road and try to come back with a win. It's going to be a great challenge. Our guys will be dialed in and ready to go.
We are part of ECU!
Pirate fans, get ready. It's time to talk ECU football on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate Show. The Pirate Radio sports team will get you ready with a game-winning strategy, live reports from the stadium, a breakdown of all the X's and O's, and all the scores and previews from other games around the country. Let's get ready. It's time for Pirate football on the voice of the Pirate Nation. The Bud Light Pregame Tailgate is on the air.
Good morning, Pirate fans. Welcome in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate Week 2 edition as ECU hits the road for the first time this season down to Atlanta to face the 0-1 Georgia State Panthers. Both teams looking for their first win of the season this afternoon at noon on ESPNU. And we've got a packed edition of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate coming your way. The voice, Jeff Charles, will join us live in the Pirate Radio studios in hour number 1. And Jeff, looking forward to a big show today here and hopefully a big win down in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's good to join you again, Clip. And yes, the Pirates need a win, don't they? They really do. And this is an opportunity to get a win on the road. It's very difficult to do that in college football, but the Pirates have had a good week in practice this week, and I think they're ready to go for this game. It will not be easy. This is a good Georgia State team, and people who say, well, they're a Sun Belt team, this is only the 11th year in which they've been playing football. Don't let all of that fool you, because it's a good team. And I'll tell you where they're good, Clip. They're really good at the line of scrimmage with their offensive line and also with their defensive line. So one of the key matchups, it is each and every week, but maybe even more so this week, is going to be the play at the line of scrimmage. And we'll see how the Pirates can match up with these guys.
The line you used, well, they're a Sun Belt team. I think some Big 12 folks were saying that earlier this year, and it came back to bite them. So I don't think ECU will be saying that today. And I think the fans will see also the Georgia State, very quality opponent opponent that the Pirates will face today. We'll learn more about Georgia State coming up later this hour. Jeff's going to go one-on-one with Charlie Cobb, AD at Georgia State.
Yeah, Charlie's a really good guy, and I think our listeners will really enjoy hearing from him. He has a lot of North Carolina ties, Clip. He was the athletics director at Appalachian State. He played football at North Carolina State, and he was a really good player there. He was a second-team All-ACC center, and then he decided to get into college athletics. He's been at a number of places and left Appalachian State, went on down to Georgia State. He's in his 7th year there now. It's really exciting, and we'll talk to him about all the capital improvement projects that are going on the campus and next to the campus of Georgia State. The things that they have on the drawing board, really amazing as to what they're doing. And, of course, they're playing at the old Turner Field, the old home of the Atlanta Braves that they've reconfigured into a football stadium. And we'll talk more about all of the capital improvement projects and all the facility enhancements they're going to have at Georgia State around what now is their football stadium. So I think you'll really enjoy hearing from Charlie. We'll ask him about playing against the Pirates, too. He played against the Pirates back in the day, and we'll ask him about some of those memories as well.
Facing them as a player and an administrator coming up this afternoon. So that's on the way in hour number 1. Here's what else is coming your way. On the Bud Light pregame tailgate, Brian Bailey joins me at 9 o'clock here in the Pirate Radio studios. We'll also hear from Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell as we talk to the coordinators and find out what they have to say about these Georgia State Panthers. Also, in the 3rd hour of today's show, in the 10 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Stephen Igo and Ronnie Woodward. They'll join me here, and we'll go out to the Fixed NC Live line and talk to David Glenn, get his thoughts on this game and what's going on in the ACC. The big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, joins us in the 11 o'clock hour to break down this game and other games going on today across the country in college football. We'll check in with Billy Weaver. Also, Brian North, Troy D will be here. Corey Glore will hang out as well inside the Pirate Radio studio. Shirley, let's get our first break in. We'll come back, and the voice, Jeff Charles, is here. We will get his take on what happened last week and what's going on today with the Pirates and the Panthers. It's all ahead on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back with you after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
You know, anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store and Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port, and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is Marcus Crandall, former ECU Pirate and Grey Cup champion. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. For the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner, be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. We got the Big Dog, a.k.a. Big Biscuit, a.k.a. Biscuit Boy Glenn Griffin here as well. And the voice, Jeff Charles, alongside here inside the Pirate Radio studios. And hopefully you are tailgating at home, enjoying this program, and riding along with us until the noon kickoff. Although, Jeff, there will be more Pirate fans attending the game this week than were able to attend last week at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. A number of Pirates that I've seen, Jeff, have bought season tickets to Georgia State, and you could actually, I believe, get those cheaper than you could possibly a single game ticket at ECU. So I think that's pretty neat that the Pirate fans are able to see the Pirates live for the first time, and some are making the trip down to Atlanta.
Yeah, I've heard from some of those folks, Clip, and a lot of Pirate fans who live in the western part of North Carolina. You know, that's not a bad drive over to Atlanta from the Charlotte area. So, yes, East Carolina is going to have some fans there, and they'll take as many as they can get. I think they're going to expect a crowd of about 7,000 to 8,000 for this Georgia State home game today. So we'll see how it looks. We'll see what kind of an atmosphere it's going to be. It's, you know, when you only have a stadium that seats about 25,000 and you can put 7,000 or 8,000 people in there, there might be a little bit of an atmosphere. And as we all know, we'll take what we can get these days.
No doubt. And Jeff, I've seen pictures. I've never been to the reconfigured Turner Field. It looks really neat. It looks like a great place to watch a game. Now, you obviously will not be there today, and you and Kevin Monroe, what's your setup going to be like? Do you know yet? Are you looking forward to kind of a different look at today's game?
Well, I am. There's a first time for everything, Clip, and this is the first time that we've ever broadcast a game off a television monitor.
Yeah.
But we're going to be watching the game on ESPNU, just like other folks, and of course we'll have the radio broadcast on our 20-station network, but we will not be in Atlanta today. We will be at the brand new production facility that was built under the stadium at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. And David Horn and Greg Pierce, in particular, have been working really hard this week to get it set up. Believe me, technically, this is way over my pay grade. I just show up and broadcast the game, but there is a lot of work that has been done behind the scenes. In fact, David was out there last night putting some of the last-minute touches on the technical aspect of this, and the facility is really, really nice. It's at the scoreboard end of the stadium, and it's where that old concession stand was, and it's at that area. And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Kevin and me and Marty, of course, Marty Fewer, our sideline announcer, who has been with us now for 28 years. Marty can't do the sideline, but he's going to be a part of the broadcast anyway. He writes our pregame show and is one of the hosts on our pregame show. So he'll drive up from Wilmington, and he'll do that today, and then he will be my spotter during the game since he's not going to be on the sideline, which I'm really going to look forward to, because last week we did not have a spotter because there is a restriction on how many people can be in the booth. So Kevin Monroe had to play a little double duty last week. He was doing the analysis and also spotting for me when he could. And as I listen to games around the country, Clip, and I hear other networks that are not traveling and have those restrictions with how many people can be in the booth, I certainly hear the play-by-play announcers who depend so much on their spotter not having one, and that was the case with us last week. So this week we will have a spotter. Marty will do that for us. We'll have 4 people in that production studio. David Horn is our technical guy. He's our engineer, producer, and does just a marvelous job. And then me, Kevin, and Marty will be there. And if we can pull it all off, like we hope we can, then it's going to sound like we're sitting in Atlanta doing the game.
And, Jeff, I remember a few years ago going to Minges Coliseum, and, of course, you and Si are there courtside, and then there's 2 empty seats, and we learned that Well, the play-by-play announcers, the TV announcers are not here. They're in Bristol or they're in Texas or whatever. And I thought it was just the wackiest idea in the world. Now it has become almost the norm.
I know.
It's crazy how quickly that changed, right?
You're right, and I thought the same thing at the time, Clip, and there are those of us who think, is this the wave of the future?
Sure, right.
And who knows for sure. I mean, you look at the national telecasts of baseball on ESPN or even ABC these days, and you've got the play-by-play guy maybe in Bristol and the guy doing the colors in Dallas or Phoenix or wherever. Same thing's going on in the NFL, and of course it just kind of filters on down to college. And I know the Wolfpack Network last week with Gary Hahn and with Johnny Evans and Tony Haynes. I listened to some of their broadcasts last week, and they were at Virginia Tech, as most folks know, and I thought they were sitting in Blacksburg doing the game. And then I talked to our friend Mike Burnip the next day, and he said, the Wolfpack Network did not travel up here last week. I said, well, I listened to some of the game, and they had me fooled. But he said, no, they were in Raleigh. And if anybody would know or could pick up on that, it would probably be me, because I've done this so long. And so I'm hoping we can pull it off as well as the Wolfpack Network did last week, because you thought they were in Blacksburg broadcasting the game.
Well, I bet you'll have people tune in, Jeff, and ask you, how was Turner Field? What was it like in Atlanta?
I hope so. That means we'll be successful.
Exactly. Jeff, let's look back before we look ahead to Georgia State real quick. And we knew ECU was going to be outmanned against UCF, and you also thought that if the Pirates were going to pull off the upset, they'd have to play a perfect game. And 4 turnovers is not a perfect game. It got away from ECU, although it could have got away a lot worse. The defense hung on there in the first quarter, but man, those fumbles, Jeff, were absolute killers, and they all came in bunches, and it was tough to see after such a great start for the Pirates offensively.
Yeah, it was. When you're -4 in turnover margin at the end of the game against a quality team like UCF, it's going to be a long day, and we talked about that before the game started. It's really no secret. It's no rocket science here. When you play against them, you can't turn it over. And the 3 fumbles were very disappointing, and then we had the 1 interception as well. And the flip side, Clip, is the defense couldn't force any turnovers last week, so they need to do a better job with that. But you cannot give an offense like UCF too many opportunities, and that's what they did. And UCF made a ton of mistakes, too. I mean, they had 19 penalties in the game, but they are so good and they are so talented that they can overcome against an opponent like East Carolina. They can overcome all of those penalties. We saw what they did with those 4 straight illegal procedure calls, and then they were able to overcome it. So they're just so talented. And Dylan Gabriel, I remember him, of course, from last year, the UCF quarterback. And I just thought his ball had more pace on it this year than what he had last year. I mean, he was throwing frozen ropes last week. And, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's 6 feet, 185 pounds. Size-wise, he's just like another guy out there. But he's got a cannon for an arm, and he's very accurate on his deep ball. He's a really, really good player. And they don't ask him to do a whole lot. They just give him, the basics to do, but they're so talented. Their offensive line is good. Their receivers, their running backs, we talked about it last week here. Those running backs seem like they've been there for 10 years. And they're just a well-oiled machine offensively. And then, their defense, they don't talk a whole lot about it, but it's pretty good. And their secondary, we talked about it last week, Clip, how good those safeties are. And we saw that, unfortunately, up close and personal. The Pirate receivers had a hard time getting separation. And then in Holton's defense, he had a lot of pressure last week. He was having to scurry out of the pocket a lot. And so, they're just good. I mean, there's a reason why that they have had the program they have had. And I always say they're the gold standard in American Athletic Conference football. I mean, they are the program that's ahead of everybody else right now. Cincinnati, of course, is really good this year. Memphis has been really good. But still, UCF's the team to beat in this league.
That they are. Got a good matchup today, SMU and Memphis, to kind of see who is up there in the upper echelon with UCF and Cincinnati. Jeff, you mentioned Kevin Monroe having to spot and be the color analyst last week. You needed a spotter with all the new bodies, especially on the defensive line. And one thing you can notice when you're at a game as opposed to watching it on TV is how the lines look, how it looks in the trenches. And the Pirates were able to run the ball for a lot of yards. Now, a lot of those yards came late in the game, but what did you make of the O-line for ECU and the D-line for ECU, Jeff, when they matched up against a very good opponent with very good lines in UCF?
Well, the D-line for ECU, they did what they said they were going to do. What Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator, told me last week, we're going to play 12 guys. And I asked him this week, I said, did you get all 12 in? And he said, yeah, we got all 12 guys in. So they're trying to find the right guys, Clip, and we talked about this in recruiting and what they've done. They've just thrown a bunch of guys on the board against the wall, and they're hoping they can get 6 or 7 really good ones who they can rotate and keep people fresh and get some starters out of that batch. So, yes, they played a lot of guys. When I talked with Blake, I said, who was your best player on the defensive line last week? And he said Rick Diabro was the best player that played. He said he had a really good game. So, the Pirates need to get more pressure, but they're developing all of these young guys. Travion Freshwater, I know a lot of people interested in him since he's an Eastern North Carolina kid from Elizabeth City. He got 29 snaps last week, so it was good to see that. And then there are just some other guys that Pirate fans probably don't even know their names yet that are getting their feet wet, and we'll see how they do again today. And then offensively, I asked Donnie Kirkpatrick the same question. I said, who was your best offensive lineman last week? And he said Nishad Strother was the best, the right guard. He's another Eastern North Carolina kid from Havelock. He said he's a really talented kid because they've asked him since he's been here, and he's just a redshirt freshman, but he's in practice and they haven't really decided which position is best for him. So he said he's had to learn both the right side and also the left side. They say he's a bright kid, and right now he's settled into the right guard spot. And he played well last week. I asked him who else played well. He said Deontay Smith had a good game, and also he said Fernando Fry, the center, had a good game for the Pirates as well. But in this game coming up, Clip, against Georgia State, this is going to be a challenge for ECU because Georgia State has 3 all Sun Belt Conference performers in the offensive line. And they're all really good. They've got a freshman All-America tackle at left tackle, Travis Glover, who's 6'6", 330, and their left guard is 6'3" and 300 pounds. He's an all-Sun Belt player, and he's a senior. He started 39 games. And the center, Malik Sumter, is an all-Sun Belt performer as well. And the right guard, Pat Bartlett, in his 20th start. He's been a veteran. So this is, as I match these two teams up in my preparation Clip, this is an older, more experienced Georgia State team than what ECU will put on the field today.
And you might be seeing that, Jeff, each and every game this season. The Pirates are very young. They're going to get better as the year goes on with experience. But right now, just not a ton of experience, especially on those lines up front for ECU. Jeff, were you and you watched the game? Were you surprised when you looked back at the UB stat sheet after the game and saw that C.J. Johnson, Blake Prohl, and Tyler Snead had 2 catches apiece? And that we know that's not going to be a winning formula for ECU. Got to get those guys more involved today.
Yeah, I was surprised, although you could tell as the game went on that they just didn't seem to be able to get open. They weren't making any catches. And so that's something they've really emphasized this week. They've got to get those guys going. Of course, the running game, as you mentioned, Clip, the stats look pretty good. But again, at the end of the game, they looked good because they got some yards afterwards. But I really like the look of the young running backs. I think Raji Harris and also Keaton Mitchell. I think these guys are quality backs. I think they're American Athletic Conference quality backs, and they're true freshmen. They're going to get their feet wet this year, and I think that bodes well for the future. But they've got to get that passing game going, and we know that they're very, very capable of having a good game through the air. I mean, Holton's had some great games since he has been here, and we'll see if they can pick it up today against this Georgia State defense.
One thing we heard during the offseason, and I say heard because we weren't really able to go out and see what was going on at practice and during fall camp, but Audio Matosha, we kept hearing his name, Jeff, that he had a big offseason, and it showed. He was the biggest weapon, especially in the passing game on Saturday against UCF. And moving forward, maybe you see him and CJ on the field a little bit more together. But he looks like a guy that Holton's going to be counting on in 2020.
Yeah, he looked good. He had 3 catches last week, and they all came in the first half. He had that long catch of 24 yards. He really looked good. You know how talented the kid is. I mean, he was a 4-star coming out of Plano, Texas, and went to UCLA. So he's a talented kid. He came in late last year, you remember, Clip, and, you know, he came in so late in the summer and just really never found his way. And you know, it's a big transition going from one school and going from one coast to the other. And so he was in a big learning curve last year. But now he's been here a year, and somebody we haven't talked a whole lot about. But he's probably ready now to step up and make a really good contribution for the Pirates. And he's a graduate senior, so he's a kid that's a little bit older, even though he didn't play hardly at all at UCLA. He's still been around college football for a long time. He's got good length. He's 6'2". He can run. So, yes, he could become a weapon, and you need as many guys as you can at that receiver position.
Jeff, Mike Houston ready for his first victory of 2020. Did you see or hear any of his Zoom on earlier this week? He was pretty intense. Shirley, do we still have Mike Houston from earlier this week at his Zoom? Want to hit his opening comments. Again, usually these are 45 seconds, a minute and a half. Here were his opening comments on Thursday.
Wrapped up practice. Good execution today. Kids will be ready to play on Saturday.
Yeah, kind of short and sweet there, Jeff. Ready to get to the game. He was asked, I believe, by Stephen Igo if he's looking forward to taking his team on the road for the first time. Shirley?
We're looking forward to getting down there and competing. So it's you're always going to be ready to go on the road and try to come back with a win. It's going to be a great challenge. Our guys will be dialed in and ready to go.
Yeah, he wasn't going to talk much on Thursday, Jeff. He's ready to get to kickoff, it sounded like.
Yeah, well, Mike's a very intense guy. We have seen that now in his second year. And when I saw him on Thursday, he had his game face on. He knows this is an important game. They're all important games, but he knows that this program right now needs to get a win. And so he'll have the guys set and ready to go this week, Clip. And again, it's just a major rebuilding job that he has here at ECU. He came into this thing last year, and my goodness, he's had to almost reshape the roster. As we've talked about, there are 54 new players in this program, and he knew he had to get his own guys in here, and he's in the process of doing that. But this thing's not going to turn overnight, especially in a league as good as the American Athletic Conference is. It's going to take a while. It's going to take him a couple of more recruiting years. You would hope in year 3 next year that there will be some marked improvement. People aren't very patient anymore, as we know. But, as I told Mike the other day when we sat down, I said, you're kind of playing with house money this year. I mean, this whole thing is so discombobulated that you can just get your young kids out there, let them play, let them get a lot of experience, and just continue to build for the future. And, of course, as we know, all these kids are going to get a redshirt year, so that bodes well for a program like ECU. You can maybe start stockpiling some kids and give them a lot of experience and get them ready to go for the future. So they want to win every game. There's no doubt about that. That's why you play. That's why you compete. But still, I think we have to look at the big picture and what he's trying to do.
And it's tough for fans to hear that. It's tough for me to hear that, Jeff. You want everything instantly today, right? And we have Rick Smith on Friday on Pirate Radio Live. He joins us on the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter call-in show, so we'll be here later today. But he said, look, I was on the staff for a year in this the previous head coach was here. And I know that how bad it was, and I know it's going to take a while to get back to where it needs to be. It crumbles a lot faster than it can be rebuilt, Jeff. We know that from over the years. So it is a process, and you're right too that everybody is playing with a free year of eligibility this year. And you can use this to get better, get more cohesive as a unit across the board. And you just hope that along the way you see signs of positivity, and along the way you pick up a few W's in that process, right? Exactly. And Pirate fans are tired of losing. Sure. I mean, I'm tired of losing. You're tired of covering a losing team. We're all tired of it. Yeah. And it's just been, it seems like a long time since the Pirates have been relevant in football. And unfortunately, if ECU does not have a winning season this year, this will be 6 consecutive losing seasons, and that's never happened in the history of the program. So that's where it is right now. Sometimes we take for granted when you're winning games and
And it's better times than probably what you think at the time. But Ruffin McNeil was 5-3 his last year, and he got fired in the American Athletic Conference. So, right now ECU would kill to be 5-3 in league play. Yep. So it's a tough business, Clip, and these guys, I can assure you one thing. Mike has a really good staff. We've known a lot of these guys for a long time. They give it everything they've got, 24/7. They're really trying hard, working extremely hard to bring East Carolina football back to where we all want to see it, but it's not an overnight situation. You can't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden everything's back and you're winning 8 and 9 games again.
Visiting with the voice, Jeff Charles, at hour number 1 of the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We'll take a timeout. When we return, the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles, will go one-on-one with Georgia State Athletics Director Charlie Cobb. Got that on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We'll be back with you after this.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulp of Mexico, a huge 46-ounce lime margarita for only $6.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville. North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or a day trip as the state safely reopens. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember the 3 W's. Wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park before your visit with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open.
Can't make it to the game? Relax. Bostic Sugg Furniture can provide you with the best seats in the house. We have the area's largest selection of Lazy Boy motion furniture in stock and ready to go. Lazy Boy recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and reclining sectionals in hundreds of colors, styles, fabrics, and leather, all at a very comfortable price. Remember, when it comes to Lazy Boy motion furniture, we're your ticket to the best seats in the house. Bostic Sugg Furniture in Greenville.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also, for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
This is Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 p.m., the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, and U.S. Cellular Fifth Quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. Now let's head back in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right. Thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back, and thanks for riding along with us on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Double B, Brian Bailey going to join us coming up at 9 o'clock. Looking forward to talking to Double B. Looking forward to talking to Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell. Got those interviews coming your way in the 9 o'clock hour as well. Right now, we'll hear from the athletics director at Georgia State. He is Charlie Cobb, and the voice, Jeff Charles, went one-on-one with Charlie Cobb.
Thanks, Clip. Visit now with Charlie Cobb. He's the Director of Athletics at Georgia State University. ECU and GSU will match up for the first time ever on the gridiron in Atlanta today at 12 noon. And if the name Charlie Cobb rings a bell, it should. Our guest spent 9 years at Appalachian State as the athletics director. He played football at North Carolina State, where he was an all-ACC center. Graduating in 1982. Charlie, welcome to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate Show. How you doing?
Hey, Jeff, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Let's go back to last weekend. Let's start from that point. Your football team had boarded the buses, Charlie. You're ready to leave to go to Atlanta to play Charlotte. And then the game was postponed. Can you go back over last weekend, last Friday, and tell us what happened?
You know, it's I haven't done this for a couple of years now. It was probably one of the more frustrating couple hours that we've had. We've been very fortunate with the COVID virus, and our kids have done the right things, and we've got protocols in place. And we literally were getting on the bus, and we had taken the third test for the week and gotten the results back. And our athletic trainer, Bob Murphy, who he and his staff have done an unbelievable job this summer just navigating this for us. He called me and said, "You won't believe this, but we've got 4 positive tests." And we went from no positive tests to 4 in the span of 24 hours. And not really knowing what we had, we did the contact tracing like you're supposed to, and ended up having another 17 kids that we would have had to quarantine. And so we're looking at 21 guys that are on a bus, travel squad of 67. And with coaches and staff, we just huddled and honestly didn't feel right about the fact that, you know, we would put those kids on a bus, maybe infect others, potentially infect the kids at Charlotte that we were to play. And so after talking about it for, you know, probably a good hour or so, we just said, look, we got to call Charlotte and tell them we can't come up there. As time went on, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, probably about 9 o'clock, we found out that a mistake had been made at the lab. They reran some of the tests, and the one thing that I've learned more about COVID and the virus than probably the average person, just because of what we're trying to do with athletics. The lab is actually testing for 2 things. They're testing for the virus, but then they're also testing for the protein that's in the virus to help with the potential for a vaccination. And the machines that were being used, they were calibrated to read for the proteins and not read for the virus, and so that's where the mistake was made. We're fortunate we caught it. Obviously, we're incredibly fortunate that we don't have, you know, an outbreak going on within our team like several other schools across the country. And you know, but it's unfortunate that we missed the opportunity to play last weekend, and that's why I think, you know, today is so exciting for our team just to get a chance to compete. It's been a couple weeks since we last played we played our last game, and just trying to build our program and see what we can do. So you got to go play other teams to kind of grow and see where you are.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I just learned something as far as the testing is concerned. Charlie, let's go back now, since this whole thing has started back in March, and then, of course, through summer and into fall practice. I mean, the Pirates had to shut down for 12 days at one point. How about Georgia State? How much practice time did you guys lose?
Yeah, we haven't had to shut down, with the exception of about 2 days in late July. We had a similar issue. I think we had about 4 positive tests over the course of the week, and then with the contact tracing, you know, we had about 25 kids that were out. And what we've all learned is, you know, your offensive and defensive linemen, you know, besides being the best athletes on the team, as I like to joke with people, they're probably the most critical, but they also spend the most time, you know, in close contact. And so, just out of an abundance of caution, we shut down for a couple of days. We kind of recalibrated what we were doing, but we weren't planning for we had probably, I think, 3 weeks before, our first game at that time, which was then rescheduled later on. So we've had plenty of opportunities to practice, and that's why I think, playing other teams is crucial for the psyche and the emotional, mental energy for our guys and our coaches just to see where we are.
We're visiting with Charlie Cobb. He's the Director of Athletics at Georgia State University. Charlie, let's talk big picture here for just a moment. How exciting is it for you as the Athletics Director to be a part of this beautiful new facility project that's on the drawing board at GSU?
I'm an NC State graduate, and I went to state to be an architect, and playing football kind of got in the way of that, so I've always kind of prided myself on being a closet architect. I like to think visually, and I draw, and that's kind of my hobby that people don't really understand sometimes when they see the big body. But to just visualize conceptually what this 80 acres of land that's in the heart of the downtown area in Atlanta and what we can do to help revitalize the Summerhill neighborhood with our development partners, Carter. It's been an incredible journey. The stadium, as you'll see, is the conversion from baseball to football has been phenomenal. It works for our program. We're about to break ground in a couple of weeks on a new convocation center at the north end of the property, a 7,500-seat arena that we'll play basketball, have graduation, and do some other events. And ultimately, we're going to build a baseball-softball complex on the footprint of the old Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. So we're really trying to create this athletics neighborhood, bring all our sports back into downtown so that our campus community and the downtown community and obviously the neighborhoods around downtown can enjoy our competitions as we get a chance to play.
That is so exciting. It's going to be a beautiful facility, but we're living in different times, Charlie, as we both know, as far as COVID is concerned, the economics of everything is concerned. Do you see this project continuing to move forward, or are you going to have some hurdles you have to get over?
Yeah, we had to pause. We're moving our soccer stadium from Decatur back into downtown and our former practice facility for football. And we had to pause that project. We're about 9/10 of the way done. We got to put the turf down and put the lights up. So we had to stop that in the spring because of COVID. But we're hoping by Christmas we can get that back and up and running so the guys can use it this spring and then obviously in the next fall. But we have the financing in place for the arena. The baseball project has been pushed back a little bit. The reality of it is that we do need some private funding to make that happen. But that's what we spend every day trying to find. The people give to athletics for a simple reason. They believe in the cause and they believe in the value, the education, and the experience it provides to kids. And that's the journey that we're trying to provide, just like you are, in Greenville. So.
Well, Georgia State, as we all know, is in a major market in Atlanta. I know that town pretty well, Charlie. I worked at WSB Radio in the early 80s, and it is a pro town with the Braves and the Falcons and the Hawks, and Georgia Tech is in town, and Georgia football, as we both know, is huge in the entire state. So what's it like to fight for media exposure and recognition in that climate?
It's a challenge, obviously, and for all the reasons that you mentioned. The reality for us is about 87% of our graduates are from Metro Atlanta, the 9 counties that comprise Metro Atlanta. The university has an incredible story to tell within the downtown Atlanta community and all the positives that we're doing. We're a world leader in student success initiatives, allowing kids to, regardless of race, gender, to be able to graduate on par with each other. And so we've got a tremendous story to tell. And it's up to us to tell that story. Athletics is a visible piece, as we all know. Last year we beat Tennessee to open the college football season. It's an opportunity for us to gain a little bit of that exposure. The reality is we don't really compete with the pro teams as much as we do. Georgia's a big animal, as you mentioned. But there's a place for us to carve our niche, and we carved that niche by having success. We've been to the NCAA tournament in basketball 3 out of the last 5 years, the only school in Georgia to do that. So we have an opportunity with our key sports to really carve that niche, and that's what we've got to capitalize on.
Well, you're exactly right. The football program has gone to 3 bowl games in the last 5 years. Tell us a little bit about Sean Elliott, the head coach, and what he's brought to the table.
Yeah, Sean and I had the opportunity to work together at Appalachian, and when I went up to Boone, had a chance to obviously be a part of some great success and to watch a lot of coaches move from App and really grow and develop. And I always thought in the back of my head that if and when I had a chance to hire Sean as a head coach, I thought he would be a tremendous head coach. I followed his career at South Carolina, and then when we made the change a couple of years ago, I wanted someone who could recruit Atlanta, recruit Georgia, build a staff that's going to recruit Georgia because of just the immense talent here. And I think probably the comfort of having worked with someone before and knowing we're going to build it the right way. And you look at what we're doing. A lot of places go with transfers or junior college guys for us to build our program. We really kind of started with the high school guys and focused on Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and Tennessee where we need to be. So we've got a lot of young players, a lot of talented players that help us, to in the near term become part of the upper echelon in the Sun Belt and compete for championships. Today is a huge test. The interesting part in the middle of the week, I usually go down and ask the coaches a couple of times during the week, hey man, what do you think? And they say, it's incredible to look at the talent difference. Last week we were looking at a Conference USA school, and this we were playing an American school, and they say, just the talent differential is tremendous. And so this is a heck of a challenge for us to play against a team from the American, and one that I know our guys are looking forward to playing, but they also recognize that it's going to take every bit of a good effort from us to even be competitive.
We're visiting with Charlie Cobb. He's the Director of Athletics at Georgia State. Hey, Charlie, it's been a great start for Sun Belt football this year, hasn't it? Some big wins for your conference.
Yeah, we're proud of how we played as a league the last several years, and certainly when you look at pure leagues, we've done more than hold our own, and then obviously a couple of big wins. Last year, obviously the start of the year this year with the Arkansas State win, the App win. So we've got an opportunity across the board to make some noise, and it's why games like this to have the opportunity for an American team to come to Atlanta and play a home game for us. Down the road, we've got home and home series with North Carolina, with Vanderbilt, with West Point. So we're trying to build the opportunity for teams to come to Atlanta, get the exposure in Atlanta, but also give us a chance to build our program as we go.
Every state is different. How about for the game this afternoon, Charlie? And how many fans, how many tickets were you able to allot?
Yeah, that's been the challenge, right? It's trying to successfully open the stadium up and socially distance and stuff. We anticipate a crowd around 7,500, 8,000. It's in line with what the city and the state want us to offer. I think people who are coming down from Greenville and they want to see it. It's if you're a Braves fan, it's kind of a historical walk, a little nostalgic to walk in and see what's been done. But for us and for our fans, it's an opportunity for us to call it home. We completed a massive naming rights deal early in the summer in this COVID environment, which was a huge win for us. And so Center Park Stadium, it's an opportunity for us to showcase what we've done and really showcase what we're trying to build on. And certainly in this region, it's important for us as we try to expose others to the Georgia State brand and the fact that we do play football, because we still get that question candidly. And this is our 11th year of playing. So,
Charlie, final question for you. We'll let you go. Of course, you played at North Carolina State, as we mentioned at the beginning of the visit. You competed against the Pirates back in the late 70s and early 80s. I was looking back at the schedule. All of those games were in Raleigh. NC State didn't come to Greenville until 1999. So what do you remember about your playing days and competing against ECU?
Yeah, you got me a little dated. I finished in 90, so I was a freshman in 86 and 87.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. It's as my friends always remind me, they say this getting old stuff's crazy. I'm not quite there yet. But, obviously I remember the rivalry. And growing up in South Carolina, had a great high school rivalry with a guy you probably know well, Carl Carney. And
yes.
Carl's the reason I was able to play in college, because he kicked my butt when I was a junior in high school. And I had to make a promise to myself that I had to get bigger and stronger and more competitive if I wanted to do this. And so I've always, through the years, had fun with him. And when I was at App, he's in Winston, we used to talk quite a bit, and I'm proud of what his kids are being able,
yes.
Are able to do at Wake. And so it's but you realize that the rivalries are important. I was an opportunity to be a part of the group at State when ECU played in Raleigh, played the home game against Miami, and I thought it was probably one of the coolest things that Coach Robinson allowed to happen by letting East Carolina play. And then obviously we went down the next year and got our butts kicked in Greenville. So it's been fun to see the rivalry at App. We had a chance to play in Greenville and almost pulled one out of the hat.
Yep.
Back in, I think it was 2006, 2007, if I remember right. But, it's just a rabid fan base. It's people are passionate about their sports, and that's what you always remember about the East Carolina fans. Been down, killing a couple baseball series, couple baseball games. Kid named Andrew Backman pitched for us at State, and I remember Elliott telling me, hey, this kid's a freshman, he's really good, let's see what he's got. And he went out, and I think he threw 8 innings, maybe couple hits, and obviously had a great career at NC State and professionally. So just a lot of fun memories. But it's the beauty of competition, right?
Yep.
And that's what it's about.
No doubt. Hey, Charlie, thanks so much for the visit. It was great to catch up. I was looking forward to seeing you and seeing the beautiful new stadium on Saturday, but the way things are now, most radio networks, including ours, were actually going to sit in Greenville and broadcast the game on Saturday. So I know these two schools may play in the future. I know Georgia State's coming to Greenville, and maybe we'll get a chance to see your beautiful facilities. And, hey, thanks a lot for the visit. We appreciate it.
Hey, Jeff, always great to talk to you, man. Congratulations to you as well. They're fortunate to have you part of East Carolina and the longevity. It's a rare trait these days, and it's just awesome for you. So congratulations.
Well, thank you, sir. That's very, very kind of you to say that. That's Charlie Cobb, and we're coming back with more right after this.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log on to your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
Hi, this is Luke Kuechly. Last season, I was captain on defense. This season, since so many of us will be watching football from home, I'm football watching with Pepsi. And you know me, I pour everything I've got into it. All right, football watchers, let's do this. Opening click-offs. Here we go. Click on, click off. Click on, click off. Stretch that thumb. You can't have finger fatigue bringing you down in the postseason. Nice job. And my favorite, second half sip-offs. Pepsi's up, lift, pull, open. Ice cold Pepsi and watching football. Nothing better.
It's not game day without a delicious, refreshing Pepsi, the official soft drink of the National Football League. Head to your nearest retailer, grab your Pepsi before kickoff, then sit back, relax, and cheer on your favorite team. Pepsi, made for football watching.
Medicare is not one size fits all, but which plan is right for you? Hi, I'm Denise Walker, and I'm a licensed insurance agent here in North Carolina. Whether you are turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I can help you compare your Medicare options. I can help you find a plan offering low to no monthly premiums, prescription drug coverage, and a wide range of additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, and more. Call me today at 434-531-5674 to get a no-cost, no-obligation Medicare benefits review.
You don't need a big meeting. You don't need a birthday. You don't need any excuse at all. You just need to love subs. Times 12. Order the Jersey Mike's catering box today. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
It's Jersey Mike's time. One Club Supreme? Check. What's Aaron's Way? Only $2.99 for Pepsi and Lay's? I'm in. Order your sub Aaron's Way on the Jersey Mike's app or visit a Jersey Mike's store.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, listen to Pirate Radio live every weekday afternoon from 3 until 6 p.m. on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 FM in Washington. And watch on YouTube or Facebook Live as well. PRL is hosted by Clip Rock and yours truly. and features the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all of your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like Troy D. and Ellerby, The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Coach Rick Smith, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, and more. Join us this Monday starting at 3 o'clock for Pirate Radio Live right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, Shirley, welcome back into Hour 1 of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. About to roll into Hour number 2, where Brian Bailey will join me inside the Pirate Radio studios. Looking forward to that. And thanks to all the people tuning in, watching us, and also you can chime in on Facebook Live or Twitter. And Jared says he jumped on late and saw Jeff Charles here and said, wait, is Jeff not calling the game on the road? No, Jeff, you talked about it earlier, but you'll be calling this one with Kevin Monroe, Marty Fuhrer, right here in Greenville.
Right here in Greenville at the stadium, the new production facility that has been built at the scoreboard end of the stadium. When you're at Dowdy Ficklin, if you can envision the scoreboard end of the stadium, and then underneath that area, there is a new production facility that has been built, and that's where we will be. And as I mentioned in the first half hour, kudos to David Horn and to Greg Pierce. They've been working tirelessly this week to put this thing together. This is way over my pay grade, technically, Clip, but they've done a great job of getting this thing ready to go for today. So, knock on wood, hopefully we'll be able to pull it off without a hitch.
Pirate Equipment just tweeted out a picture of the locker room there in Atlanta. And if you're wondering, the Pirates going with the white tops, white bottoms, purple helmets in today's game. That'll be the look for ECU when they take on the Georgia State Panthers. Both of these teams, Jeff, 0-1. Both of these teams have played ranked opponents to start the year. So I think both teams will be fired up for today's game, looking for their first win, and a winnable game on both sides for both these teams.
Yeah, that's why it's so close as far as the spread is concerned, right. Clip. It's a pick-em, basically. That's what this game is today. The team that probably makes the fewest mistakes is going to win the game. Georgia State's a quality opponent. I don't think we can say that too many times. This is a good team. I mean, Louisiana's really good. We know how good Louisiana's team is. Remember when they played the Pirates in the New Orleans Bowl a number of years ago, and the athletes they had, and they've been nationally ranked, and Georgia State really thought they should have won that game. They were right there with them. So this program's come a long way, and the Pirates are hungry. They need a victory badly for this program. Georgia State looks at this game, I think, as a statement game for them because they're playing against an American Athletic Conference school. So they're going to be fired up to play at home, and they will have a running back Georgia State will today that did not play in their last game with Louisiana. He is Seth Page, and he's a good player. They really had to ride Dustin Coates the first game, Clip, because he had 34 carries in that game. But now they've got Page, who is his backup, who's a good player, too, from Florida. So we'll see both of those guys today running the football for them. And Cornelius Brown's a redshirt freshman, so he may make some mistakes. He's very talented. He doesn't throw it great, but he's a good run-throw type of quarterback. And so he'll be a handful too. He's going to be a good player for them. Maybe not this year as far as good as he may be down the road, but he's still a good athlete. They had a really good quarterback there the last couple of years, a guy named Dan Ellington, who was a really good player. He's on their coaching staff now. So this kid, they're kind of throwing him in the fire. So we'll see what the Pirates can do against him.
Yeah, Brown, 15 carries last week. You mentioned the 34 for Coates, and they're going to try to run the football against the Pirates today. By the way, did not have Jeff Charles mentioning the spread before myself today. You could have got plus money on that bet for sure, but you brought it up. I saw, Jeff, Georgia State was a 2.5-point favorite on Thursday. I looked at it last night. ECU's a 1-point favorite. So I don't know what that means. I know it means that folks out there are putting their hard-earned money down on the Pirates, apparently. So, but the line's kind of moving back and forth. It should be a fun game. And, Jeff, as you've seen over the years, Vegas is expecting a high-scoring game today in Atlanta.
Yeah, I would think so, too, Clip. I would think this game most likely will be in the 30s somewhere. I mean, East Carolina's going to score some points. They're going to score some points this year on just about everybody they play against. You know, the problem with ECU, and it seems like we talk about it year after year, can they stop anybody? They're going to be able to score some points, but can they score enough points? And can this defense, with all these young kids, do a good job against a Georgia State team. It's not real fancy. You're right. They're going to try and run the ball today against the Pirates. They have a very good, experienced offensive line. That's going to be a key matchup, how the young Pirate defensive line matches up against a veteran, big offensive line for Georgia State. So I think we'll know a little bit more about that at the end of the game. And it's going to be, I think, a good game. You're right. I think there are going to be points scored on both sides, and it may come down to that last possession late in the game as to who's going to win this one.
Jeff, it's great having you here in studio, and I get to see in person the boards you put together. What do you call those, Jeff?
It's my depth chart, my spotting boards, actually, is what they call it.
And how long does that take you to go through everything and put together each week?
It takes a while.
Yeah.
It really does. I start on Tuesdays when I get the depth chart for both teams, and
I can show the folks.
Okay, this is Georgia State's offense, and that's cool. Georgia State's defense, and then the same for ECU. We have ECU's offense and ECU's defense, and then I've got all my stats on these little sheets and all my specialists on these little sheets as well. So, yeah, it does take time, and I think a lot of times when guys have been doing this for a long time, Clip, they kind of get tired of doing the preparation. But I enjoy the preparation. I really, really do. And we started on Tuesday, and I don't always succeed, but I try and know a little bit of something personality-wise with every player who's out there. Yeah. And so if the starting right tackle for Georgia State, if his sister played volleyball at Vanderbilt, I try and get that in if I can. Try and make the broadcast, as entertaining as we can, and keep the audience too. That's what we try and do, keep the audience. And sometimes that's a little bit harder than other times.
You do an awesome job, and have done it for years. And I was on the way home. I kind of got a kick out of listening. I think it was more Marty and Kevin than Jeff Charles, but talking about UCF and maybe embellishing some of their injuries last week.
Yeah.
And I heard Marty and Kevin talking about, Kevin said UCF's the last team that should be doing that as fast as they go on offense. But I really enjoy the broadcast each and every week with you guys.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it. We've got great people. David Horn, I always say this, he's the best engineer producer in the country. He really is. He is a whiz at what we do, and I don't know what we would do without David Horn. And then Kevin's done a great job. He's been with us all these years. Marty has been with us all these years. So, we pick up the first game of the year, and it's almost like, we did a game last week because we've been doing the games so often and so many years together. So, I'm very, very fortunate, Clip, that I've got not only good broadcasters and good people professionally, but there's such great guys. There's never a crossword between any of the four of us. Hasn't been that way for 30 years, basically. And I'm just really fortunate to have such good guys to work with every week.
Well, Jeff, we'll let you run. Final thoughts. What do the Pirates need to do today to get a W in Atlanta?
Get that passing game going a little bit, Clip. I mean, they need to have a better production as far as the passing game is concerned than last week. Let's see if Holton can get untracked and see if Snead, Johnson, Prohl, those guys can make some catches, put some heat on Georgia State and score some points. Of course, turnovers always huge. Pirates can't turn the ball over like they did last week, and they need to get Georgia State in some second and long and third and longs, because I think if they force this quarterback, he's a redshirt freshman. He wasn't real accurate against Louisiana. If they can get him in some second and longs, certainly some third and longs, when he has to throw the ball, I think the Pirates can maybe force him into mistakes as well. East Carolina's defense got to see if they can get a couple of turnovers. They got to get some pressure. Didn't get much pressure last week. Didn't get any turnovers. I think they have to do that. But again, when you match these two teams up on paper, this is an even matchup today, Clip, and the Pirates are going to have to go down there and play well to win this game.
Jeff Charles, the voice, breaking it down here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Jeff, as we let you go, Corey Glore, ECU play-by-play voice for ECU baseball, who will be joining us in the 11 o'clock hour, said, appreciate the spotting board breakdown with Jeff. Us broadcast nerds are eating it up. So there you go, Jeff. For the broadcast nerds out there, that was for you. So good stuff there. All right, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, thanks, Clip. See you next week.
We'll take a time out. Got Double B warming up in the bullpen, ready to come in. I'm not going to make a Cubs joke as they struggled to hit the ball the last couple of days. We'll talk to Double B, Brian Bailey, and continue to break down ECU and Georgia State when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate after this.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients, from our toppings bars, or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina. Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, life, and business insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the Gavigan Agency comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the Gavigan Agency in Greenville or give them a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Hey, did you miss a show on Pirate Radio? You can listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app on your iPhone or Apple device and search for Pirate Radio Audio Archives. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into the show. Glenn Griffin, video production today. Chandler Honeycutt, who will be here during the fifth quarter, does a great job of video production during Pirate Radio Live. Brian Bailey's here. He tweeted out a picture, Chandler did, and said this is basically the Good Morning America for Pirate Nation. It's got Jeff Charles and I on the TV, and now Brian Bailey's going to make us look good here. If you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, Double B, happy game day to you.
Happy game day. Glad to be here. Game number 2 of a season that we didn't know we would have.
That is true. Well, I appreciate them all, right?
And we've talked about this every chance you get to play.
Yeah, Bailey appreciated his Cubs not getting a hit in the playoffs this year.
I really appreciated it.
No, but you said it right out of the gate back in late March, early April, Bailey, that you never took sports for granted.
Right.
But, man, you definitely never will moving forward.
There were some dark days in March.
No doubt. There were. And here we are now, and got college game days on. Yeah. We're here. We're getting ready for some football. It's a great slate of college football games, big slate of NFL tomorrow. So a reason to smile, something to be happy about, and take your mind off things and enjoy. And look, hopefully a win can be involved in there somewhere, because as fun as it is, losses aren't very fun.
No, they're not. And I heard you guys talking about it earlier, but who peed in Coach Houston's cornflakes on Thursday? I mean, what happened with that?
I don't know.
I was late to the party on Thursday. I was off on Thursday. I was doing some stuff, so I sat down, and I think one of the Pirate Radio tweets came out and said, a stern Mike Houston or something. I said, well,
I called him tense.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. And I said, let me hear this. So I listened to it. I was like, whoa. And then I started listening to the whole Zoom, and I was like, man, he was fired up about somebody got to him either at practice or something. But he was fired up. He was mad at somebody.
A source says that things did happen at the end of practice, like a play that he was upset with, and ripped the whole team. Wow. That's what I was told. I don't know. I got a little nervous, Bailey. So we did our press box Zoom, and I said Georgia State was going to score 42 points. And I talked to a coach on the staff, a defensive coach, and he said, "So you think we're going to give up 42?"
That always comes back.
And I said, "You know what? It's not you. It's past defenses have burned me. I need to see it to believe it." Yeah. And so after Mike Houston did his Zoom, Igo texted me and was like, "Man, you pissed Houston off with your prediction."
Yeah. So I went during the...
Stop yelling at me, Glenn.
During the Zoom.
He's sensitive.
During the Zoom, I started looking up to see if I had tweeted something, you had tweeted something. Wow. Igo, Ronnie, like I started checking
that Twitter
accounts
will get you.
because something was wrong.
I mean, he's always intense. It just seemed like he was intense with an edge.
Something had happened,
Yeah.
and it was recent because it was on his mind.
Because you're right. He usually comes in, "Hey, fellas, how you doing? We had a great practice today." And talks about 35, 45, maybe a minute. But, man, he was
ready to hit the Oklahoma drill. He was ready to hit somebody.
I tell you what,
I'm glad I wasn't hosting anything with him on Thursday.
When's the last time you hosted something with him? Maybe he was mad at you.
No, that was Monday.
Okay.
He had a lot. He wasn't salty with me at all on Mondays. Mondays are fun, but
Pirate fans liked it. I tell you that. I saw a lot of comments online, social media, like, "Yes, let's go." They fired them up, seeing them like that.
And obviously we weren't there, but it may have been the fact that maybe if somebody didn't go through a drill like they were supposed to or something, and maybe it just hit him that, hey, we need to win some football games around here, and we're not going to win any football games if we're not 100% into it. And that's the way I read the whole thing, is that something at practice got to him, that he was just fired up and he was ready to ready to bite a bullet somewhere.
I was just hoping that it wasn't a positive test.
Yeah, I was hoping. Yeah, I thought the same thing in this era right now, because you think about, that was the first thing I thought of, and not necessarily positive test, but maybe a contact tracing deal where he was going to lose a couple of players.
Somebody had been in a situation that they could have prevented.
Exactly.
And now there's a situation with the team.
So hopefully that's not the case as well, and he's fired up, and I hope he's as fired up after the Pirates get this 38-28 victory at noon today in Atlanta, Georgia.
And we're hoping the folks in the lab coats are correctly reading the Georgia State test this week, because
they got them right.
That took a game away from them in Charlotte.
That was great. And I heard Charlie Cobb talking about it with Jeff Charles a minute ago, and that had to be as frustrating a thing as you can go, because when you're doing all this stuff and taking all these precautions, and then you get on the bus ready to go, and then you find out that, hey, we got some positive tests that turned out not to be positive.
Yeah, that's the worst, right?
Yeah.
When you are doing everything, like if you're not obeying your orders and doing things, and something bad happens, well, that's kind of on you. When you're doing the right stuff and everything's right.
Well, what I found with this virus is you can do everything right and people can still get it.
Sure.
I mean, I just it scares me, because I do have to work with Coach Houston on Mondays a little bit, and I'm trying to stay 6 feet away, and we do the coaches show, and we separate our chairs by 6 feet. And, we wear masks up there and everything, but you just it's funny because I don't feel worried that he could give it to me, because he's around all those players and stuff. So the chances of that could happen, but that doesn't bother me. I just don't want to be the one that gives it to him or hurts the team or anything like that.
I think that's the attitude that everybody should have. You don't want to give it to somebody. You don't want to give it to anybody. My grandmother, or a player or anybody. So. All right. Well, how about the game, Double B? And ECU needs to bounce back from a loss week 1 against UCF. We got to improve the passing game, but it still sounds like that Mike Houston, Donnie Kirkpatrick, they want to run the football, and that's how they want to start. They want the run to set up the pass rather than the pass to set up the run. Now, what about today? Do you think they're throwing us a curveball and Holton's going to throw it 50 times? What do you think they do offensively today?
I don't think they want Holton to throw it 50 times, but I think if they have to,
if you want to win, you might have to.
If they get in a situation where they have to, I really think the way those young running backs played in the game, that was really encouraging.
Yeah.
And I think that they want to control the football. They want to run the football. I think running the football will open up the passing game. I tell you what I came away with in talking to Coach Houston earlier in the week is that they really thought the UCF defensive backs played really, really well and were really, really talented.
Well, that's on me. Last week I said Tyler Snead was unguardable.
Yeah.
And guess what? UCF had a guy that they put on Tyler Snead to guard him, and he did.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if every team on the slate has a guy that can run around with Tyler Snead
I don't
for
think
60
so.
minutes. I don't either.
I don't think Georgia State does.
Right. So I'm expecting much bigger things from him and CJ. And again, Audio Matosho, a bright spot for the offense last week.
I was really impressed with him, and I think you'll see him play even more this week. CJ had the one big play. CJ, I think, gets caught up in some of the emotions of the game, and he's really got to work on that side of the deal because you can get on these one-on-one battles, but you can't let it take away from the team. And I think that at times, he had some situations like that, some of the penalties and that kind of thing. But he had the big play over the middle. He's a big play receiver, and Omatosho is a big play receiver too. I mean, he's a 4-star recruit out of Texas. I mean, he had everything going for him when he went to UCLA, and then kind of got hurt, got lost in the shuffle as far as that goes. And talking to Coach Houston, he also said that when Audie came to Greenville, that first year, he really wasn't in game shape. It took him forever to get in shape just to play the game. So they really think that he's in good shape now, and they like him a lot.
I like Bailey when we hear something during the offseason and it comes to fruition. And we heard about, Keaton Mitchell having good performances in the scrimmage. And I kind of thought, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Is he going to play in a game? We heard about, these coaches like Raji Harrison think he could play right away. And sure enough, those guys got a lot of carries last week, along with Penix and other backs.
Yeah, and I think that anytime you've got a stable full of backs, because they don't have a star right now. Now, one of those two young kids could become a star, but right now they've got solid running backs that got to hang on to the football. That was the big deal.
I like that Chase Hayden bounced back at least.
Yes,
because his first.
I was afraid he might be gone forever.
Yeah, your first carry's a fumble, but I think he got 7 or 8 after that and hung on to the ball. Looked okay.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you worry about. Even with he's got more experience in some of them, but still, you worry about that when you first carry and how's it going to affect you. But they've got to bounce back, but they have to run the football. The offensive line has got to open up some holes. I think that's going to be one of the keys today. And if they can run the football, Holton will be. He's a good quarterback as it is, very talented. But if he gets rolling with some play action and holding those linebackers and Snead's running around, I think we're going to see a completely different offensive football team in this game.
Man, if Skip Holt's doghouse for fumbling was around, ECU wouldn't have any players left.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? I mean, it wasn't one guy had a fumbling issue. It was 4 different players fumbling for ECU last week.
And 3 in the first quarter. And really, the defense weathered that storm. I think they only gave up a field goal, but the problem was that it snowballed.
Yeah.
Your defense is on the field that long, and then later on, they just can't keep up.
And when you play against UCF, you don't want to be tied. You don't want to be up 7. You want to be up 21, 24.
Well, you guys made a good point about the injuries because they were laid out all over the place. They would look around and they'd be like, they need to slow this thing down a little bit. This is like our offense running around.
I heard Monroe say they're the last team that needs to be doing this as fast as they go.
Right, they do.
So
the speed of light.
He was calling them out for that. And we did have the usual game 1 kind of cramping stuff.
Yeah,
I guess it wasn't as hot, but it got pretty hot last Saturday.
It did, and I was in the press box most of the game. I went down in the fourth quarter, and it was humid. Saturday was humid, so I'm anxious to see the stadium today because I really didn't realize that's where they played the old Turner Field until I was doing some research on the game.
Pictures look pretty cool, and I think it's neat too. We mentioned this, Brian, and you probably know a lot of folks that are doing this. That people bought season ticket packages to Georgia State so they could go watch this game live. I think that's pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. I'm glad some people were able to go down, and we don't know how many college football games we're going to be able to see this year. I mean, as a media member, we're lucky. I got a chance to see the one last week, but if you get a chance to go to a game, you need to get there.
Double B, you still making it through Friday nights with no football, or is that still?
Last night was kind of fun because we actually went to 3 games and had coverage. Well, actually, we had coverage of 3 games. Nolan went to Pungo Christian for a 4:00 start. We've covered Pungo Christian more times in 2 weeks than we have in 36 years, and that's a true statement. But they were playing Bethel Christian, which is out of Kinston, so that was good. They're 2-0. John Paul II, they're now 2-0. They went to Raleigh last night, and I mean, I said they went to Rocky Mount last night. Parrott went to Raleigh last night, and Todd Gibson, my good buddy at WNCN, he went and covered that game and sent it to us. So we had 3 games and felt a little bit more like high school football. Good. And I told some people this week, and I hate to admit it, I miss high school football like crazy. But what I don't miss is those Fridays where I have a headache the whole day and I'm running around yelling at people all day. I've kind of enjoyed not having that.
Because, you enjoy? How about the people that you yell at? I bet they enjoy not having that either.
They deserve it. But anyway, because what it is it's just so and you can ask Weaver and North the same thing. I mean, it's just so much pressure to try to get all these scores, all these highlights, all of it together. And you have a staff of 7 or 8. Well, 5 or 6 of them kind of know what they're doing. But 2 or 3 of them are like, what do you want again? I mean, seriously, I tell this story all the time. I had a girl one time in Jacksonville. She covered a game where a team scored 70 points. She sent me 7 extra point kicks because she said, it's football, isn't it? So for a 70-point, because I sent her there because it was Southwest Onslow, I think. I knew they were going to crush who they were playing. Sure enough, she sent me 7 kicks.
That was the story of the game. The kicker hit all his extra points.
He made his extra points.
That kicker's mom was happy.
I'll never forget the conversation. I said, hey, can you send me the play that forced them to kick that extra point?
Wait, people care about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that play wasn't that good.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. More with Brian Bailey as he joins us inside the Pirate Radio studios coming up later this hour. We'll hear from ECU offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick and defensive coordinator Blake Harrell. That's on the way as well when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Almost called it Pirate Radio Live. We're back after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick Enclave and save over $9,500 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Sawyer's Fun Park is now open in Greenville. This state-of-the-art 40,000 square foot facility features a 2-story LED interactive laser tag, a one-of-a-kind 2-story ninja course, a ropes course with a 180-degree zip line, and it's only one of 5 in the country that are indoors. Multiple climbing walls, a super cool arcade with 40-plus games, and a brand-new full-service cafe and bar for adults. Visit the brand-new Sawyer's Fun Park, now open, located right behind ARU on Corey Road, Greenville.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Hey, join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and Georgia State for the one and only U.S. Cellular 5th quarter call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in the studio, and we'll be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250. Plus, we'll read your Facebook Live comments and your tweets at PR927FM. When the fourth quarter ends, it's the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, hour number 2. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll hear from Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell. Talked to them earlier this week about this matchup with Georgia State. Got that coming your way. Craig says NWO for life. Thanks, Craig. That's the shirt. Bailey, you're not a big wrestling guy.
No.
I thought about this on the way here. So the NWO was a faction that came from WWF and went to Ted Turner's place in Atlanta and took over. And that's exactly what the Pirates are trying to do today.
I wondered where you were going with all that.
How about that? You like that? On a very much more serious note, Craig, another Craig, a different Craig, says sending positive vibes and pirate love to Darius Penix due to the loss of his father. And Mike Houston and Donnie Kirkpatrick have talked about that this week and said it's been obviously a tough week for Darius. And didn't know if he's going to play today. Morgan Ehlers said he thinks he made the trip there.
Right.
And he wants to play.
Right.
But a lot going through his head right now.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I mean, I'm 58 and I still have my dad, and that's a day I'm not looking forward to, and to be so young and to lose a dad, that's got to really shake you to your core, I would say.
Seth asking on Facebook Live, any word on Chris Willis for today? From what I understand, he's kind of involved in the contact tracing stuff, right, Bailey?
That was a bizarre story. The way I heard it is that he had a roommate or something through campus. It wasn't even through the football program. And he had to go through contact tracing. And as of early in the week, the story was that he was coming out of that late Friday, and they were trying to figure out a way to get him to Atlanta. And
he's still, I don't know what it means, number 1 on the depth chart. He was last week.
So the plan was to get him. I'm not sure how they got him there or whether he was cleared earlier and could take the flight with the team. I'm not sure, but the plan was he would play.
Blake Harrell said he was going to get a lot of D linemen in the game, and he certainly did last week.
He did,
and again, and I think we've talked about it. Jeff Charles mentioned it too, that they've kind of stockpiled these guys, and they're all young and talented. And again, I think in 2022, maybe the end of 2021, the D-line will be a strength for ECU. We're trying to build it there right now, and they're trying to figure out what they got up front, I think.
Yeah, and they're going to play a lot of guys and try to figure that out. And the theory is, a fresh guy at 100% is better than a guy who's 70 or 80% because he's been playing so long. So they want to play fresh people. And I was fascinated last week with the substitution patterns and trying to get guys in because as the guys were telling us earlier in the week that you really can't substitute unless UCF substituted.
Was it Roy Tesh that said he was a hockey coach?
Yeah, hockey coach. He was sending in a new line all the
second
time.
line.
Yeah.
So against a team like UCF, as fast as they go, that's difficult to do.
Yeah,
for sure. And that line's going to be tested today, Bailey, because this Georgia State team likes to run the football.
Right, man. And I asked Coach Houston earlier about the back-to-back false starts to start the game. UCF's ranked nationally, top 10 type team, and they come to Greenville with no crowd, and they can't get a ball snapped 4 straight times. But he said he thinks he's going to see a lot of that because the defensive line shifts so much, and he thinks we're going to see a lot more of teams until they get used to that shifting going on, that we'll see some guys jump. But as he pointed out, a couple of those guys are wide receivers, and all they're supposed to do is look back and make sure the ball's
right. I think it was, there wasn't a big crowd, but there were some families there. I think it was the mamas of the players getting on them. The mamas are tough, right?
The mamas will get on the good guys and the bad guys, won't they?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Bailey, this offense has got to get clicking today, the passing game. We talked about it, but I expect to see a better day from Holton Ehlers. But there's a lot that goes into it, right? There's the O-line, there's the receivers, and then it comes down to Ehlers making an accurate throw. What do you think his week's been like in practice and the passing game as a whole?
Well, I think his day is going to be good if he gets some time back there. He ran for his life a lot of times, on Saturday, and he was running around, and I even made the statement that maybe he's more accurate when he's running around because he threw some good balls running around like crazy back there. I like the way when he runs the football that first drive. I mean, they're all yelling, "Get out, get out!" and he just lowered his shoulder and just boom, and just think if Dowdy Ficklin had been rocking.
Oh man,
if the stadium had been 35, 40,000, maybe 45,000, and when Holton lowered his shoulder like that place would have gone absolutely nuts. Yeah, that was one of my favorite plays from week one. Just gotta hope he does stay healthy and does slide more often. But that was kind of cool to see.
And again, Donnie Kirkpatrick coming up, and I asked him, and you'll hear it that he says, hindsight's 20/20. Maybe they should have got another quarterback in the game there at the end to get a few reps and game experience. But he also said, Bailey, and I didn't think about it till he brought it up, and I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but thinking about it, it might be that. The coaches and the players wanted to be on the field and put points on the board at the end of that game, even though it didn't matter from a win-loss perspective. But he thinks getting that score late gives you momentum, leaving the stadium, heading into practice, maybe heading into this game. They really wanted to score that last touchdown last week.
And you could tell that because that had one of them got called back earlier.
Raji Harris.
Yeah, Raji Harris's long run. And so, you could tell that was really on their mind, that they knew the game was lost, but they wanted to stick that thing in the end zone. And, Snead scores on that run. And, it's just one of those deals when you look back at the game, that does give you some momentum going into practice and you hold your head a little higher. Obviously, there are no moral victories in this deal. Nobody was happy at all with the performance overall. And, after the game when Coach Houston was talking to us, we were talking about, the fact he can see improvement in the team. Sometimes it's hard to tell that because, the score. But when you look at what's going on with this program and, they've been through so much, man, just with the COVID. And all programs have gone through. I'm not saying just East Carolina, obviously, but every program. But for a team that's just starting out with a coaching staff that's just starting out, year two, it was really a frustrating offseason, and they need some confidence. I mean, if they can go to Georgia State and really play well and pick up a win, and then all of a sudden they're fired up and they've got a chance, go 2-1 if you can go down to South Florida and get a win.
Craig says when you play at East Carolina, you don't slide at East Carolina. Write it.
You're right.
Well,
quoting the old coach, Coach Logan.
Better slide.
Yeah, you better slide.
We need him on the next play, not just for that one play.
That shoulder.
All right, Double B, you ready for I like these nooners because I get to go home and watch some games at night.
Yeah.
I think you got Georgia-Auburn tonight. That should be a good one.
That should be great.
7:30
Should be a lot of fun to watch.
You enjoy
two NFL teams going at it in that one.
Pretty much.
There's some good players.
And then you got an NFL Sunday tomorrow. Your Cowboys. We'll see if they can win a game where they score 30 points because they've been putting up plenty of points.
They can score some points, but they're banged.
My team's got the other issue.
Yeah,
we can't score points, and it's going to be a long year for the first place Washington football team.
For the football team. I'm not even calling them Washington anymore.
Just football
Every
team.
time you see it, it's like football team versus Browns or football team versus them. So
there is some news, and Glenn, you mentioned this during the break. How many, was it 6 more Titans players tested positive?
It is 3 individuals, 1 player, 2 staff people, bringing it up to a total of 16 within the team. 8 players and 8 staff members have the Rona in Tennessee.
And that, obviously...
You see the logos?
Yeah, some interesting
with the coronavirus deal, whatever that logo they've come up with, and they put it in the Titan logo. That's interesting.
No game with the Steelers this week, and now you start to think. And this reminds me of last week when I saw Georgia State and Charlotte were postponed. My first thought was, what about the next week?
Right, that's what we all thought about.
So now, and I don't think this is a misread test.
No, I don't think so either.
So we'll see what happens with the Titans moving forward. Because Bailey, we watched Major League Baseball. They went to the 7-inning doubleheaders. They're able to get most of the games in for every team. NFL is different, although I did hear that the NFL does have contingency plans to push back the Super Bowl, so they can maybe push back the season 2-3 weeks, perhaps.
They may have to.
But, yeah, if not, I don't know. Titans going to play on a Sunday and a Monday doubleheader or something like that.
Can't do that, can you? Yeah, it's going to be. They were lucky that this first set they were able to reschedule everybody and shuffle a bye week and everything. So,
and folks are also sending in their pictures of watching me and Bailey on TV.
Gotta like that.
Bailey's
little guy's watching us.
Yeah, thanks to Matt for sending that. You can check us out on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and Bailey, you're a TV star. I'm still getting used to it. My hair and makeup team has still yet to arrive to the studio. So
that makeup team will get you in trouble.
All right, what are your keys, Bailey? What are your final thoughts here as we get ready for this one?
Well, and a lot of times it's the same things we say week after week, but we're basing this on last week's performance. But the number one thing is you can't turn the ball over. And I think number two, you've got to create turnovers. So you've got to win the turnover battle. You've got to figure out a way to create some, and you got to figure out a way to hold on to that football, and you got to protect it, and you got to, you just can't put your defense in that kind of situation again. I think that we'll see a lot more on offense from Holton and Snead and CJ and Omotosho and all those guys. I think we're going to see a much better numbers. I hope they can run the football, but I think if they can't, I know they can throw the football, and I think that we're going to see a lot of that. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game again, like we said last week, and it's a program in East Carolina that Pirate fans need a win. They need something to talk about positive. They need a victory. And the problem with a game like this, Georgia State's really good. I mean, they're really good for the Sun Belt League. They've gone to 3 of the past 5 years have gone to bowls.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're playing the Sisters of the Poor. But a lot of fans in East Carolina will look at it and say, Georgia State, what is Georgia? Who are they? What is that? And so they expect East Carolina. I'm not expecting East Carolina to win. I think they can win if they play well and do some of the things. And the old adage about, you make the most improvement from game one to game two.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you win this one. You got another winnable one next week, and then you could be 2-1 when you face Navy, and people could be fired up for that game.
And it depends on which Navy team shows up, the one that doesn't tackle or the one
that always plays ECU.
Exactly.
Well, we don't want to see that.
We don't want to talk about that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's worry about that when we get there. I shouldn't even have brought that up. Bailey, thanks for hanging out, man.
Hey, anytime, Enjoy it.
And look, folks, we're giving you this free information and entertainment, and that should be enough, but you know what? We got a great giveaway coming up. We'll do it next hour.
You giving away some of that?
A case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue.
That's nice.
We'll do that in the 10 o'clock hour coming up later on in today's show. All right, let's take a timeout. When we return, we will hear from the offensive coordinator of the Pirates, Donnie Kirkpatrick. That's on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Back with you after this.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. For Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience. With a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips, and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic's award-winning staff features a TPI golf specialist that offers assessments and rehab to help you get back on the course and playing your best.
This is Dr. Shondell Jones, and you deserve to live well. Call us at 364-2806 or visit kptonline.com. Go Pirates!
Hey Dad, what's for dinner?
How about CPW's?
Is that the restaurant with the really good lasagna?
It sure is.
Is that the place we got the awesome meat pizza?
Yep, that's the place. Should we do dine-in or take out?
I'm tired of eating it. Let's go there!
Just say no to cooking tonight and bring the family, or make it a date night at CPW's. CPW's is open daily at 3 p.m. and has been serving the Greenville community since 1995. CPW's in the Food Lion Shopping Center near the hospital.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. For the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner, be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, Shirley, welcome back to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Bud Light reminding you to stay in the game, drink responsibly, and we will give you some Bud Light to drink responsibly. We'll give away a case of Bud Light, $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, so stay tuned for that. That is on the way here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. All right, there were some good numbers on the UB stat sheet last week, most of those involving the run game for ECU. We talked about that. The passing game, the fumbles, and everything in between with Donnie Kirkpatrick earlier this week as he joined me on the Fixed NC Live line. Let's hear that right now.
ECU Offensive Coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Coach, thanks so much for your time. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, guys. Doing okay. How about y'all?
Hey, we're good. I appreciate you joining me here. And Coach, let's look, you got off to a good start, went right down the field, scored a touchdown, and then the ball got a little slippery. The fumbles started to happen. And I asked you last week, do you put an added emphasis on keeping a hold of the ball because UCF forced so many turnovers in their first game? So I know it's something you work on and the players work on it. And is it just one of those things, Coach? How do you make sure that something like that doesn't happen again?
Well, we blamed you for bringing it up and putting the jinx on us. And so we got to get you not to bring it up anymore, I guess. But no, seriously, it is something that you emphasize all the time. But the biggest disappointment, like you say, is that we came out and you drive the ball right down there and you score and you got some good things going. You're off to a good start, and then we come back. We got a 7-yard run. It's going to put you in 2nd and 3, and we fumble the ball at the end of the play. We come back. We have another 1st down run on a 3rd down play, and we fumble the ball again after about a 15-yard gain. And then somewhere in there pretty soon, we did have had a bad play. That was the first one. Really, it's been a bad play. We got blown up. The others were all gaining yards. So, that was, I thought, took us out of the game because I thought the early part of the game we seemed to be the team that had the momentum and was playing the best. And we thought if we could, get off to that kind of a start and get a lead, we could go the whole rounds with them, which was what we were trying to do. We knew we'd have to win it in the 4th quarter. And I think it would have gave us the ability to do that. So the thing that's most disappointing is that we work on that all the time. I don't think anybody in college football hits and tackles as much as we do and works on ball security. A lot of times in your first game, that is a fear that you're going to get in there and, guys aren't going to be used to being hit with live action. And I know that a lot of teams around the country with the COVID pandemic and all that, because of restrictions, said they weren't able to go live and tackle, but we did. We were able to do that, and we did it just like we always did, and it was just poor ball security. We just didn't have the ball secure. We just didn't have it, run in the arm the correct way. So Sunday we had some incentives after practice to reemphasize that point. And then on Tuesday, we had some really, really wicked ball security drills that I hope will really, really help us as well. We normally always do ball security drills on Wednesday. We continue to do that today on Wednesday. And then in all our team sessions, we've had the scout team stripping the ball and really punching the ball even more than we normally do. So hopefully we can, without getting a mental block in this thing, do a better job securing the ball.
Donnie yes, sir. Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us. And, Coach, we've talked a lot about this week about ECU running the football, 244 yards rushing against UCF. And, we've kind of contemplated on, why you run the ball so much at the end of the game. And my theory was that, with no spring ball and with a disjointed fall camp, you wanted to run as much as you could against a real opponent and see what you got with the young running backs in the running game. Is that why you went to the run there late in the game on Saturday, or why did you go to the run so much?
Well, I think there was a couple of factors in that. I was very pleased with how we ran the ball. Vast improvement from last year, and that was one of our major goals to do. I mean, if you'd have told me we were going to rush for 244, and we had 65 yards of rushing brought back because of penalties, I would have said, well, we'll be in the game in the fourth quarter, and I think we got a chance to win the game. Now, the turnovers, changed all that. But I think really in the fourth quarter, the reason that we were running the ball was because the running game was working so well. In the third quarter, we had fallen behind, and we closed the gap a little bit, and then we went down there and we threw an interception on a 1st and 10, which was really, really a horrible decision-making, right there on that play. We were still thinking we had a chance to win the game. There are a lot of possibilities that you could still pull off. By the time we got the ball in the fourth quarter, the chances of winning were probably not very good, and they were playing, obviously, for you to throw the ball because they knew that's the only way you'd probably be able to win the game is to get some quick scores. So when the defense is just playing back and giving you the run, and we really were gashing them pretty good the last two drives. You just take advantage of that. At that point, I think keeping the defense off the field, they'd already scored plenty of points. I think at that point, we didn't want one of those, like what happened against Navy years ago here in the stadium, when the offense just keeps trying to score, and you do score some, but then you keep turning it over, you keep putting the defense back out there, and then they just keep scoring, and it just gets to be one of those losses sometimes it's hard to overcome. And then I think maybe the last factor was we had two rookies that were getting those carries, and we really wanted to try to grow them up and get them a little bit more experience, and that was probably the best way to do it.
Coach, it goes without saying you want to see an improved passing game against Georgia State, a bounce-back performance. And, we talked a lot about C.J. Johnson, Blake Prohl, Tyler Snead, all having 2 catches apiece is probably not a recipe for success. So is that something you look to get clicking this Saturday against Georgia State? Yeah, absolutely. That was the thing. You don't want to run the ball better and then, but then suffer through your throwing game a little bit. They did a nice job, I will say that, of putting their nickel back, who's probably their best cover guy, on Tyler, and, really did kind of neglect a little bit, what he does best, and we just weren't able to really get him loose and get anything going. And I think that was the offense that we missed right there. CJ got a little something, Blake got a little something too. The throwing game, we really blocked the run very, very well. We had some issues with pass protection. They had a good plan. They rushed up inside. Their plan was to try to flush Holton out of the pocket, and they were trying to push him to the right, which is against his throwing arm. There's a tendency that he's had that always bail to the left. It's something we've been working on. Early, he hurt them. He hurt them with a run or two. He hurt them with a scramble and a throw on that first drive. But they continued to do it, and then they started to do a better job with some second contain. And we just weren't able to get that answer or get that solved. And, so between that and some pretty good coverage, I think they really did take our passing game down from what we've got to have that. So we know we got to get Snead. We got to get CJ going.
We got to get Blake going a little bit. Audie had probably the best game of them all. We got to continue to feed him. So we got to find that balance. We got to be able to run and throw, and then I think we'll have the winning formula.
And finally, Coach, another question that has been brought up this week, and while I got you here, you're the man to ask. When the game gets a little out of reach there at the end for the last drive or two, was there any consideration of putting in a Mason Garcia or Alex Flynn, or what was the decision to stick with Holton the entire game?
Well, yeah, there was a good conversation between me and Coach Houston on the last drive about getting him out of there. At that point, probably in hindsight, maybe wished we would have done that still, but I don't know if either one of them were totally ready. It would have been a good time to maybe get them some work. We really, really did want to finish off with another score, and at that point, the offense were begging to get back out there because they knew they could play, they knew they could score, and Holton's still our best bet to go do that. Now, I think the other guys could have done it because basically we just handed it off anyhow and done that. So in hindsight, probably should have gotten them in there. I hope that chance will come again with reverse where we're ahead enough that they can get their first reps when there's not such a pressure situation where you win or lose the games on the line.
I didn't really think about it until you brought it up there, Coach, but could that last score kind of give you a little something for practice this week and heading into Saturday, a little confidence maybe for your offense?
Oh, I think it does. I think, how you finish anything is what you remember a little bit. And so now they had subbed a little bit, taken some of their starters out on the last drive. The other drives they had not. They were still playing their starters as well, to that point. But, we just felt like we had a little rough deal in there, and it really where we lost it was the last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. They had just really played well, and we had really played poorly there, and they kind of blitzed us. But to walk out of there, I think the kids did feel a lot better being able to put back-to-back scores in that fourth quarter.
Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right, there's Donnie Kirkpatrick and some interesting stuff there. Hindsight 2020, maybe should have got another quarterback in the game, but they really like scoring at the end of the game there and giving themselves a little momentum, and who knows, maybe that'll carry over into today's game with Georgia State. It's a noon kickoff on ESPNU. We're with you until the kickoff here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Have more for you. Blake Harrell, ECU defensive coordinator. We'll find out what he had to say about last week's game and also looking ahead to Georgia State when we return on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Back with you after this.
Welcome to Jack Brown's. What can I get for you?
You guys got chicken strips?
Nah, we don't have those.
Can I get a salad?
No, we don't carry salads, ma'am.
Well, what do you have?
We are glad you asked. This ain't no regular degular. This is American Wagyu beef.
These ain't your Uncle Timmy's charcoal bricks.
Kiss the cook, kiss my grits. Our burgers are 4 ounces of hand-pressed, made-to-order, perfectly seasoned ecstasy in a potato roll.
4 ounces not big enough for you, big man? Double patty time!
Or just grab a cheeseburger.
Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern Option NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
Hey guys, do you not look your best? Do your hair and nails need some work? When is the last time you looked at your feet? Guys, I can assure you that the ladies love a nicely groomed man. I'm Amanda and I have the solution. The Man Cave is now open, offering salon services for men only. Men, come enjoy the complimentary lounge before or after your service with free food, drinks, and pool table. The Man Cave, now open on the corner of Fire Tower and Evans, Greenville.
Hi, this is Billy Parker, and football is here. Tailgate at home with family and friends this season and let Parker's Barbecue do all the cooking. While tailgating at your house, let us provide all the food with our delicious chicken, barbecue, seafood, and sides. We can customize packages for any size group, big or small. Give us a call today and place your order. Parker's and football, a winning combination. Also shipping nationwide at parkersbbq.com. Parker's Barbecue is how friends and family come together.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, Office Coordinator for ECU Football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show. Now, with the Pirate Radio scoreboard, here's Shirley Rhodes.
All right, you had 2 Major League Baseball games yesterday. The Padres defeated the Cardinals 4-0, so they advance to the NLDS. They will be facing the Dodgers coming up on Monday. The Cubs lose to the Marlins 2-0, and the Marlins move on to face the Braves in the NLDS. College football kicking off at noon today, along with East Carolina and Georgia State. Number 24, Pittsburgh will host NC State. Number 9, Texas will host TCU. South Carolina is on the road at number 3, Florida. And Missouri is on the road at number 12, Tennessee. Coming up at 3:30, it'll be 15th ranked Cincinnati hosting South Florida. Number 25, Memphis will be on the road at SMU. North Carolina is ranked number 12, and they'll be on the road at Boston College. Number 17, Oklahoma State is at Kansas, and number 2, Alabama will host 13th ranked Texas A&M. And that is a look at your scoreboard. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brown.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Are we supposed to be giving this Bud Light hat away?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm going to wear it, show it off. On the back of it, where it snaps, well, it's Velcro, it says ARG.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool, huh? I didn't notice that, so I just put it on. All right, we will be giving away a case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue. And we will be getting our own Parker's Barbecue coming up in the next hour. So we're looking forward to that, Shirley.
Oh, yeah, it's just about that time.
Troy told me to send him a reminder at 10 o'clock. So I've set an alarm to send him an alarm.
You have 8 minutes.
Yes. I'm going to send out the Parker signal to Troy D here shortly so we can get this food here for us and all our guests. And Stephen Igo, Ronnie Woodward going to be here in just a moment to join me on the show. We still have to get to Shirley Rhodes' Football Masterclass Theater, which we will do in a little bit. But right now, let's hear from Blake Harrell. I had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week, and here's how it sounded.
ECU defensive coordinator Blake Harrell joining us now. Coach, thanks so much for your time. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Coach, I know the message that was passed across by Coach Houston, by you, by Coach Kirkpatrick, just about everybody last week was stay in the fight. And, man, your defense in the first quarter did all they could to stay in the fight. After the offense was struggling a little bit with fumbles, your guys went on the field and got UCF off the field and stayed in the fight like you talked about. How proud were you of your guys there early in that game on Saturday?
I was really proud, and it's a lot of fun to go back and watch our kids just go to battle for about the first, 25 minutes or so of the first half. I thought they fought really hard. They executed. They had energy, and just things went, did a good job just executing what we wanted to do and being a part of our culture and being a part of our program, our goals, and just moving forward with that. So that was a lot of fun, and just seeing guys out there for the first time and watching them running around and play Pirate football. That was good to see. So now we got to focus on finishing the game in the middle eight, those type of things, but we'll get that corrected.
Coach, with those sudden changes, is that something you can practice during the week? And if so, how do you do it? I mean, it is part of the game, turnover. So how do you prepare your defense for those sudden changes you see?
Well, we always talk about it, whether it's meetings on the field, whatever it may be, and we put our kids in situations on the practice field where it's a sudden change in our script or wherever it may be. And some of it's, most of it's just a mentality, and it's about how we take the field. And a big part of our defense, and for that, for sudden change, is, hey, put the ball down, let's go play. It doesn't matter where you put the ball down, we're going to take the field, and we're going to get ready to play, and we're going to line up, execute, and play with energy and great effort. So that's kind of the mentality we took, ever since we stepped in the door, and we can continue to do that.
Coach Blake Harrell joining us. Coach, since the dawn of time, stopping the run has always been a key, but is it even more added emphasis on it this week? Georgia State runs the ball 52 times in their first game this year against Louisiana, and the quarterback is involved in some of that running as well. So is that the key heading into Saturday?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the quarterback's a huge part of their run game. The tailback, Destin Coach, is the even bigger part. They had 225 on the ground against Louisiana, who just came off a win versus Iowa State, was the top 20 team. So they ran the football against a good defense, and that's really about what they did last year as well when they went to a bowl game and won 7 games and beat Tennessee. So like you said, it's certainly got to stop the run and focus on that this week and be locked in there. And they will put the ball up in the air. They still threw 200 yards last week, and he'll take his shots. And, this OC, Brad Glenn, we were in the SoCon together and faced each other several times, so there's some familiarity there.
Blake Harrell joining us. Coach, there's a cliche that we hear a lot. The biggest improvements are made in a football team from week 1 to week 2. Is that true? And if so, what are those improvements you're looking to see from your defense coming up week 2?
Well, I think that's certainly true, and it's certainly true after you've had a little disappointment when you go out and compete, and you got to go back to the drawing board and get in the meeting rooms and practice and go back and see how much you can improve. And especially with our young guys, every time I watch them take a snap, our freshmen, I watch them get better and better and better and better. And I can't wait to watch them grow up throughout the year here and even in week 2. So that's one thing. And for us, it's just a mindset. Hey, something's good's going to happen on the field on Saturday against Georgia State. We got to put that behind us and go play the next play. And something bad's going to happen probably against Georgia State on Saturday. We don't want it to, but it might. And if it does, we still got to have the mindset of go play the next play. So that's where we are right now. I'm just moving on, keep marching on. Really focusing on the last 4 minutes of the half, kind of where we had a little letdown last week, and trying to improve there and starting the second half a little better and finish the game. So we had a great start last week. Now we got to put 4 quarters together.
Coach, appreciate your time so much. Good luck this Saturday, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on.
Blake Harrell, ECU defensive coordinator there, and going over some of the things that happened in the UCF game. And again, stopping the run is key for today, because as you look at the UBE stat sheet, you see that Destin Coates ran 34 times against Louisiana as he was their feature back. Jeff Charles mentioned they're getting an injured running back for today's game, so maybe not 34 carries for Coates. They'll split those reps a little bit. 15 rushes for their quarterback, Brown. So they are going to run the ball, and that makes you nervous because then they try to hit you over the top with a deep ball. So the secondary can't fall asleep today on the back end of ECU's defense. All right, hour number 2 is in the books. Hour number 3 is on the way. And wait till you see what shirt Stephen Igo's wearing when he walks in the Pirate Radio studios in 2 minutes. Got Igo, Ronnie Woodward coming up this hour. Got David Glenn as well. And most importantly, expecting the arrival of Parker's Barbecue. And you know what? For you listening, even more importantly than that, we're giving away a case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue. A huge hour 3 is on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. And we'll kick it off after this.
you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is proud ECU graduate and former baseball player Brandon Manning inviting you to join my team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Right now, during hurricane season, is a good time to review your coverage with a local trusted agent like me. I will make myself available before or after business hours, and my clients always have my cell phone number if they need anything. From home, auto, or life, give me a call today and let's talk about your insurance coverage and about the Pirates. Call 531-1812 and go Pirates!
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called Greener Pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with quality equipment. Your local John Deere dealer with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 p.m. and the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate and the U.S. Cellular Fifth Quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Broad.
New world order. Shirley, thank you very much. Glenn Griffin, the big dog, a.k.a. Big Biscuit, a.k.a. Biscuit Boy, here as well. I call him that because he brought us biscuits this morning for the second straight week. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Got some Parkers on the way. Yeah. That's why Stephen Igo and Ronnie Woodward are here.
Heck yeah.
We'll be feeding you boys here shortly. But we got a game to discuss as well as ECU takes on Georgia State. We're halfway home here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, taking you up to the noon kickoff between the Pirates and the Panthers. And I don't know, any wrap up from last week, guys? I mean, how about this, Igo? We'll start with you. What do you want to see today that maybe you didn't see last week when ECU lost to UCF?
The obvious is getting the big three receivers involved, but primarily Tyler Snead. You know, I'm very interested to see how Georgia State tries to defend ECU. Will they stack the box, and are they going to play man? Are they going to play zone? I don't know a whole lot about Georgia State's defense. I think they're a three-man front, so it'll be interesting to see how much they prioritize stopping the run versus taking away the pass, because UCF clearly, they prioritized stopping the run, but also was able to hold up a man coverage, which I don't think Georgia State can do. So I'm interested in the chess match early and trying to get Snead and Johnson involved and kind of how those reps and targets play out.
Ronnie always talk about the fastball. Well, last week we determined that you've got a two-seam fastball and a four-seam fastball. Tyler Snead, C.J. Johnson. Neither of your fastballs were working last week.
Outside the zone.
Yeah, everything was missing, unfortunately, and UCF was all over it. And, that's got to change. If ECU wants success today, got to find a rhythm in the passing game. The father of Holton Ahlers, Morgan Ahlers, talked about that yesterday, that you'll see those big games that ECU had. It felt like there was just a rhythm going in the passing game last year, and they just got rolling, and it was play after play. The receivers knew exactly where Holton was going with it, and it just didn't click for whatever reason last week. I think that reason was UCF's very good on the back end.
Yeah, and that's one thing I felt it like this morning, and just kind of the vibe really of the week and today. I mean, last week, I think we all knew. I think the coaches kind of knew for the most part. I mean, they're leading up to the week, their whole thing was stay in the fight. Stay in the game as long as you can. I mean, they didn't say it that direct, but that was kind of the vibe. Where this just feels different. Like I think Coach Houston mentioned, hey, if we win a close game, if we're able to win a close game and get some clutch plays at the end of the game and win of the game, that will do so much for this program. I was trying to look here. Like, when was the last time ECU was in a close game and won? Like Old Dominion last year. It
feels to me like the Old Dominion game.
Old Dominion game is close, but it wasn't a good team.
Yeah, like that's what. Like this would be like. When was the last time they played a bowl team? Because Georgia State's like a quality team. And won a close game and got those clutch plays he's kind of talking about. Like, we've seen him
2015.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him lose to Cincinnati and lose to SMU last year. But I think that's what Coach Houston's kind of talking about. Where UCF, it was like hang in or try to pull this crazy kind of upset that would have been viewed as a fluke, that type of thing. Well, to me, this is more. I'm more locked in covering the game. By the fourth quarter last week, I was trying to figure out what wing sauce I wanted on the way home. And, this feels like this is giving me... my order was wrong. Man, what I ordered was different from what I got.
Gotta hate that.
I can't bash the place because I love it. So I don't know if I can say it
That's
or
fine.
not. So, yeah. But I redeemed myself in the middle of the week.
You totally redeemed yourself.
So, anyway...
and somehow, to your point, like Mark Lindsay keeps asking these weird questions, but he gets the best answers every time.
His answer was to Mark Lindsay about this team needs confidence. It was like,
and how do you get that? You win a game on the road.
You get
you got to be excited.
Pick six or
a little bit.
Well, I want to see the defense get like a fourth quarter strip sack. Like what Coach Houston said, like a big play in the fourth quarter where it's not like, think about how many games in the last whatever years, the fourth quarter is like just kind of a thing, like the plays aren't real meaningful. I think we're going to see that today, and I'm curious to see what they do.
Really, the last 2 years, the Old Dominion game was like the only games I can think about both years where ECU made plays down the stretch to beat them.
To win.
So maybe, in Georgia State, a much better program right now than Old Dominion.
The Tarbut game? The UConn game?
That one escapes my memory, but yes.
The caveat is exclude UConn.
I know. You got to take them out.
You got to, for them to move up in the AAC especially, and in general standing in the country, UConn doesn't count. Like, they're out of the league. They're done. So that's what I'm saying.
They're not playing football this year.
Yeah.
They really are wiped off the map.
If you take out UConn, when was the last time they won a quality game against a quality team?
It's been a while.
Yeah. But today is it. Like, today's the opportunity where if they pull this win, I think it's the best win they've had since whatever.
And it's not like a program signature win.
No.
But
it's a big step.
Yeah. It's a win they need.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Even though this is a rebuilding process and, Georgia State is a quality team, I think this is an even matchup. Yes, you're going on the road, but you should have just as much talent as Georgia State, if not more. Granted, they're much more experienced, but this is a game that if you win it, all of a sudden you look at the game to follow and the game after that, and you start thinking, hey, maybe we can actually start stringing together some sort of winning streak for the first time in years. So, we'll see. But I think this is a huge game, even though I said earlier this week, progress is more important than results with the rebuild. But still, this is a game. If you're Mike Houston and the staff, you want to win.
You also said that it doesn't matter.
So. I mean, I was a little tongue-in-cheek, but...
I think mentally it matters more than, I think the mental side.
After seeing Coach Houston's press conference on Thursday, it matters.
Yeah, you suspected he might be upset with me. I think he's upset with you.
Maybe he is.
It didn't matter. But
I need to know the story behind that. So I'm hoping they win so we can ask.
That's going to go one of two ways, by the way. One, they lose today, and we find out voluntarily from Houston why they were so bad at practice Thursday, or what he's going to reference that Thursday, or they win and me and I go at whoever asked a question about Thursday and he laughs and tells us why he was mad Thursday. That's no question, it's going to come up either by him or by us.
So if they lose, you're not going to ask?
I think if they lose,
that's tricky territory.
I think he'll reference on his own. Well, we were bad Wednesday and Thursday, and I had a bad feeling. You know, like he's either going to divulge what was up Thursday, or we're going to ask because he's in a good mood.
Josh wants to know if this is a big ball game.
This is a big ball game.
But Mark Lindsay didn't say it was.
Mike Houston says big ball game a lot, and I don't even think he said big ball game this week.
Well, it's not Thanksgiving yet. I'm not stuffing turkeys yet.
We gotta get Mark on a pregame show and just
we can talk about stuffing turkeys and
Halloween first.
The putting green.
Coach, you got any spooky plays drawn up for this week? What in the world? But somehow he gets the best answers.
It wasn't about stuffing turkeys. It was, what are you turkeys cooking up this week?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
What the
That was the Thanksgiving question.
Oh my God!
The turkeys don't cook. They're the things that get cooked.
Coach, it's happy Labor Day. I know you guys will be working hard this week, right? Like he does it for every event.
Coach, it's Arbor Day. I know you guys are planting the seeds for victory.
Oh, the best.
Oh man! All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back when we return more with Stephen Igo, Ronnie Woodward, and when we return on the other side, we will give you a case of beer, Bud Light, and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue. That and more on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back with you after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
You know, anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those, but anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
Hey, Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store and Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Pirate Radio.
You know, I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's where our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, Pirate fans, listen to Pirate Radio Live every weekday afternoon from 3 until 6 on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 FM in Washington, or watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. PRL is hosted by Clip Brock and yours truly, and features the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all of your your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like Troy D. and Ellerby, The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Coach Rick Smith, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, and more. Join us this Monday starting at 3 o'clock for Pirate Radio Live right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Hour number 3. Coming up later this hour, we'll talk to DG, David Glenn, get his thoughts on ECU, Georgia State, look around the ACC, other games going on. Also, got a big giveaway coming up at the end of this segment, so stay tuned for that as well. A case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue. Our Parker's Barbecue is arriving shortly, so
I feel like, Clip, you're super energetic today.
Really?
Feeling it, man.
All right, good.
What time do you wake up?
Like 7:15.
You're on it.
Hopped in the shower, hopped over here.
You're on.
Jumped on the air.
The vibe, I'm telling you.
I think Jeff Charles was here like 5:30. He was like had already worked out and everything, and I just rolled in out of bed. So.
Your vibe today is much different from a week ago.
Trying to get the team high. Excitement time. Trying to get the team ready to go. And, you know, got to get you guys.
Excitement time.
Got to get the fans ready. Got to get everybody ready to go.
You're on it.
Craig says on Facebook Live, you can watch us there, chime in. If we're honest with ourselves, every game is a big ball game, and we are trying to reestablish our winning tradition.
That's a great comment.
All right.
Can't disagree with anything said.
All right. You can chime in if you'd like with a question, comment. We've had questions about Chris Willis today. You know anything about Chris Willis today?
So Chris Willis, interestingly enough, he did not. So I was on Instagram this morning, and he posted a picture of himself going from RDU to Atlanta this morning, separate from the team.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe late addition.
So maybe he got late clearance and was allowed to fly to Atlanta.
What time was that?
It was like 5 a.m.
Yeah, it takes me like 15 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
It's a little different than going to Atlanta.
Because I asked Coach Houston that on Tuesday about Willis, and I wasn't too optimistic in his response.
He said hopeful, and
we'll see.
Jason Romero is on the trip, though.
I didn't even get that cut, but you're right. It was a 2-word answer, right?
Yep.
We'll see.
It was, well, we're hopeful. We'll see.
Yeah.
And silence. It was like, it doesn't sound like he should be listed first on the depth chart here.
Yeah.
But you can really find out a number of guys because they all post on social media that they're going to Atlanta or at the airport. So Jason Romero is on the trip.
Did you have anybody from Hoist the Colors at the airport? I go.
We did not. We only do that from coaching
coaching
searches. Like the time I thought it was Joe Dooley, and it was 2 old people getting off the.
That was great.
But they were coming from Fort Myers, Florida.
Here we go. This is it.
What were the odds?
Yep.
And Joe Dooley was hired like a week later. So
yeah, you were on the right track. Yeah. You just had the wrong plane, the wrong tracking. Ronnie, you also asked this week about the the transfers to the offensive line.
Yeah.
And Mike Houston said that those guys are kind of on par with the freshmen right now coming into the system.
That was Thursday, so we got angry Mike Houston that day. I think I was just asking something to ask something. It's kind of awkward there for a minute.
Yeah, lighten the room a little bit.
Yeah, so I had to think quick on my feet.
But
they played early.
Yeah,
I mean, I was trying to just extend the conversation to try to get him to say something. Just to try to see what the reaction.
That was a team effort for sure for everybody. That was the first time we've seen that, maybe ever, at least since remember his first spring practice, where everything was like a huge sound bite because it was like, we're going to fill that stadium. Everybody's going to be scared of, he was like locked in. And Thursday was the first time we've seen that at least in a while from him.
And he knows the team needs to win and kind of.
It wasn't like
it's not like talk is cheap, but after a while, there's only so many things you can say.
Yeah.
You got to go out and prove it and on the football field.
But to your question, I noticed it early. Honestly, those guys. I think it was Avery might have played first, Sean Avery, but they got in early so that if there's any shuffling on the offensive line or I think those guys are going to be prominently in the mix. And I mean but you're right. They're kind of like freshmen, except they're older and bigger, ideally, and I think they play probably a lot again today, or at least a decent amount.
One thing you can notice when you're at the game, more so than watching on TV, is the size of the line. So, what was that like last week, guys? ECU's O-line versus UCF's and vice versa. And will that be different this week, with the lines and the sizes?
Yeah, so Georgia State's not nearly as big as UCF was, but they're probably just as, if not more, experienced. And, Sean Elliott, he's been an offensive line guy his entire career, Georgia State's head coach. So they're going to be very good, very disciplined along the offensive front and against a very good defense, or very young but talented ECU defensive line. So that's a matchup I'm really looking forward to seeing. But if you look at their depth chart going into this week, they had a lot of guys at like 285, 290, a couple guys at 300. So they're not very big on either side. They're similar to ECU in terms of size, honestly. So I think it's a pretty even matchup from a size standpoint. But obviously Georgia State's got the experience. But UCF much better in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So I don't think we'll see ECU's O-line get beat as much as it did last week. But they still have to play much, much better from a we keep talking about the passing game and the receivers, but if the O-line can't protect, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see the first part of this game, Ronnie, and do they come out and do what they did in the fourth quarter and try to pound the rock, or do they, let Holton air it out and get that passing game clicking? I know they want to be balanced, but it still sounds like to me they want to run the football, and I think I said this the other day that Mike Houston, in a perfect world, if he could choose what kind of football team he has, a power running team might be his forte, right? So they're trying to build that. It takes time to get the O-linemen in. They might have the backs in already in the backfield.
2 freshmen are good.
Yeah. And I love, too, Ronnie, that we always talk about, like, spring darlings and – will Keaton Mitchell, what he did in a scrimmage, matter during the season? Well, turns out maybe it will, because they gave him the ball quite a bit last week.
Yeah, he's got some speed. He's shifty. I'm not going to say slimy this week. I'm going to say shifty. That was good. But he's what they need to get in the outside and hit some big plays. And the other thing, too, I'm interested to see, last week when Ehlers got, I think there's a lot of designed rollouts, and then he got flushed out a lot. But the problem with UCF, it's almost like NFL style, where like when you get out of the pocket against UCF, you're getting chased down by linebackers and defensive ends. I think Holton was scrambling a lot, and he got some yards early, but UCF's so fast that canceled it out. Where I think today, Georgia State's good, but there's no way they're as fast as UCF. So I think Holton can buy some more time. If there is protection issues or he's facing pressure. I think last week was so much of like a rushed, just scramble drill situation where I think he can maybe buy some more time today, ideally, and be more clear to find a receiver. And some of those passes, the interception, he just kind of threw up on the run. Even the first drive, when Omatosho kind of caught that one. Pass. Yeah, like that was like oh crap, I'm on the run, and this dude who's 270 is just as fast as me. I got to get rid of the ball. Where ideally with ECU, that isn't the case today, or he's able to have a little more time, one way or another, to have some better routes and get the ball downfield. That was a problem last week. He was facing so much pressure, and on the run, you don't have time to throw it 20, 30 yards down the field, I think. So today, I think the game plan should and could be a little different.
Ehlers does still have the thing where he tries to do too much at times.
Yeah.
That and throwing and also, running over a guy rather than sliding for the next play. And you want your guys to, to be like, to get the extra yard and to do all they can to make a play work, but also there's a time where you got to, just play for the next one too.
There's a time, I feel like, when as a quarterback like that, you lower the shoulder, but you got to pick your spots. You can't.
Yeah.
He did it early in the game, which I was fine with. Like first or second play of the game?
Yeah.
Where he's out there running over a guy. You set the tone.
Yeah.
But the second one where he fumbled, like he should have got down. It was a case where he wasn't going to run over anybody. He already had the first down by a lot of yards, and at that point, you just have to get down and slide. If it's a 3rd down and 3 at the end of a game, and you're going for a game on a drive, then yes, you lower the shoulder to make sure you get those yards, but you got to pick your spots. And I just think and the throw late in the game, that was just inexcusable for a guy who's now a junior. He's got to know better. I get it. He's trying to make a play. They're down by a lot, but I think he threw the jump ball to Rajee Harris or somebody who wasn't even that tall. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it to like
CJ or
a guy who's is the jump ball specialist. So that's something I'll be looking forward. Does he make those mistakes again? I think he'll learn from it personally. But the other thing I worry about, we haven't really talked about this. Deontay Smith and Bailey Malovic both left last week's game at the end with injuries, and I've heard they could be questionable for this week. So we don't get an injury report, so I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of those guys is banged up or even out today.
Yeah, that's where those ACC guys could come into play.
Yeah.
If you have to shift things around.
Big news there on the Orthopedics East injury report, brought to you by Orthopedics East, offering a variety of services that will get you back in the game. For experienced and professional medical care, visit Orthopedics East on W.H. Smith Boulevard in Greenville and online at orthoeast.com. So that means the talk during the offseason will come to fruition that Mike Houston was trying to get all these offensive linemen work at different positions because you might have some guys shuffling around. Morgan said yesterday that did Trent Holler play some tackle last week or shift around the line?
I know they put Walt Striblin, who's a true freshman, in at left tackle for 4 snaps at the end of the game, and then Nishad Strother flipped out to tackle some. So what will happen if Smith is out? If Smith is out, you'll probably see Strother at left tackle because that's where he worked in the preseason.
I like Strother too.
Yeah.
He's got
Jeff Charles said he asked Donnie, who kind of stood out to him last week, and that was the name that came up.
He played left tackle, left guard, and right guard, left tackle, right tackle, and right guard in that game alone. So he's a guy who has position flexibility. I don't know what they'll do at right tackle if Malovic's out and Noah Henderson isn't back. You probably have to slide maybe Justin Chase to right tackle, or Hampton Ergel's a redshirt freshman, a former walk-on who could play there. But tackle, I worry about tackle more than guard. So if they're missing Noah Henderson, Deontay Smith, and Bailey Malovic, that is not ideal at all.
So what does that mean? You run the ball more, probably?
Well, last week they couldn't protect very well, but the pressure was more coming from interior. So
you just throw the fade to CJ.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have to get creative.
Let your skill guys go make some plays.
Skip Holtz is still running those screens, by the way. Saw him work last night, at least for one touchdown.
BYU is going to the playoff, man.
BYU is an absolute monster.
Yeah.
But they don't play anybody. That's their problem.
And it's not their fault.
Yeah.
They're playing, and I believe I saw that they added a game against San Diego State.
And Boise State, I think.
And Boise?
Yeah,
so they're trying to add some games.
The Boise game.
Yeah.
Hey, the problem is it's not going to matter. To run the table, they're still not going to get an invite to the college football playoff, but I think they're good enough to be a foul. I want to see them against a good team.
And you know what they need? They need Navy to win the American run the table. And that'd be a heck of a first win if Navy does that.
Yeah.
It was just 3 years ago that Scotty Montgomery destroyed
Houston
BYU in Dowdy Fickle Stadium.
They were so bad.
Was that year one of
years?
Year
one of Sataki, year two of Scotty.
Yep. And because Mendenhall was the coach when ECU lost to them in a great game in Provo. Are they on the schedule for the future?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got them, got Boise. And, of course, everybody's looking forward to 2027 when Georgia State comes into town. The return trip.
2027.
We'll remember in 2027.
Who will be ECU's coach then?
Great question. I'm going to say Nate Connor. DH Connor.
Blake Harrell.
Shane Beamer.
I think I'm still sticking.
I've been on the Shane Beamer bandwagon for like 10 years. He wants the job. If it happens, I think it could be a possible match.
Rick Stockstill.
No.
Sean Elliott.
Brady Hoke.
Not Brady Hoke.
Great question. All right. What other games you guys looking forward to today, if any? I mean,
the night game, right?
Auburn, Georgia. Yeah.
I think I like Auburn in that matchup. Are you with me on that one?
I don't like Georgia, although they do have the Daniels kid, I believe, playing.
Got a big revenge game, UCF Tulsa.
I liked, hang on one sec. I liked Auburn until I remembered Bo Nix as their quarterback, and I don't really like him that much.
Yeah.
So I don't like either one of these offenses, really. But it should be a good game. UCF, Tulsa. So the other coach, Mo,
Philip
Montgomery.
Philip with
that
one
dude's
L.
a heck of a coach, man.
They knocked up. I thought I had him getting fired before the end of last year, and he rallied the troops, and they played for him.
Yep.
And finished very
And
strong.
they should have beat Oklahoma State.
And
they outplayed them in a bunch of ways.
They should have.
We saw them take down the Pirates last year. They got UCF, and UCF, as Igo said, revenge on the mind. What does Lincoln Riley do for an encore?
Yeah.
They lost last week. They are at Iowa State tonight at 7:30. That should be pretty good as well. So a couple of matchups to watch out for coming up later tonight.
North Carolina at BC. That's always a tricky trip for any North Carolina ACC school going to BC. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Eagles give them a game. What are they? Are they the Golden Eagles or the Eagles? I always get confused about.
I think they're golden, right?
Okay. I know Southern Miss is golden. Like, there's always
Marquette is golden.
Yeah.
You might be right. They might just be Eagles.
I think they're just the Eagles. Boston College Eagles.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
I was wrong.
They are not golden. ECU, Georgia State. I feel like at this point there's not much else to say. Have we left out anything about this matchup?
I think we talked about it a little bit, but the Georgia State run game, like, it's an entirely different dynamic. UCF was so spread out and so many different things you had to worry about on the outside. I think Georgia State's going to try and get physical with ECU and take it to them when they have the ball. So I'm interested to see a totally different challenge, mainly for ECU's defensive line. The linebackers are going to be huge. They're going to have to get penetration and make tackles. If they're missing tackles or they're not physical at the point of contact, I think Georgia State could kind of grind it out, and it could be a much different. It could be a low-scoring game potentially if that happens.
I know the total's at like 69.
I don't think. I don't know. I go back and forth. I think this game will be more in the high 20s, low 30s, but
like at the same time, like Ronnie's saying, both teams are going to want to run the football.
Yeah,
and if ECU's
Georgia State definitely is.
If ECU's down all those offensive linemen, I think that means they run more because they don't want to get their quarterback killed.
Yeah,
and maybe, but they do want to play with pace.
Yeah.
So
it depends maybe on how the offenses approach the game. Because you look at Georgia State's opener, even though they don't throw it a lot, they take some deep shots. They get you, because they run it so much, they get you in one-on-one matchups. And they got a 6'4" receiver who will probably at some point be against Malik Fleming or Jaquan McMillan, who's 5'9", in a one-on-one situation. I guarantee you they will take a shot to either him or the Cornelius McCoy kid, who's their number one receiver. Now, their quarterback has a huge arm, but he's not very accurate right now, so who knows if they can hit it, but I think they'll at least take the shot.
That is another thing, too, that I want to bring up. So blitzing Dylan Gabriel is different than blitzing a guy making his second start, right? I mean, they can maybe rattle this kid a little bit, and Blake Harrell can do some things that UCF can adjust to because not only are they talented, they are super experienced. And on the Georgia State side, you got a quarterback playing his second game. Now, it could be a blessing for them. They didn't play last week. He's had 2 weeks to get ready for ECU, 2 weeks to get better as a quarterback. But I think no interceptions last week, no turnovers forced by the ECU defense. I think they get 1 or 2 today.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that stood out to me looking at the box score from Georgia State's first game, their running back, their main guy, 34 carries. I mean, it's
workhorse. Jeff Charles did say they get an injured back today.
Oh, okay.
Both of their backs were offered by ECU, but Scotty Montgomery and from my understanding, ECU decided not to take them. So this is a running back revenge game for Georgia State.
Do they have city speed?
They do, because one of them's from Florida. I think Coach is from Florida too. Seth Page, I know, is from Florida. He was the guy that ECU looked strongly at taking.
That's the kid that did not play the first game, coming back today.
He was kind of their backup.
So maybe not 34 carries for Coates today. Maybe they split it a little bit, but I guess he proved to be a workworkhorse.
I think they're going to run it, and the quarterback can run it, obviously. So that, I mean, Blake Harrell said it during his Zoom as well, that they were planning or predicting 70-30, and they had to stop the run first. That was the goal. No matter, make the quarterback beat you, like Steven said. If you lose to the quarterback and the receivers, you kind of chalk that up.
You can live with it.
They hit some big plays, but you don't want them to grind out, 200, 300 rushing yards and get real physical and kind of let Georgia State, dictate the tempo. I think that's really the matchup to watch, in my opinion, that I'll be watching, especially early, that first quarter, first half. How can ECU's front do against the run game?
Dustin Coates is from Tallahassee, Florida.
There you go.
And Seth
Where'd he go to high
Page.
school?
I tell you
Godby?
what,
He
Godly?
went to Rickard.
Rickard?
Yeah, I know one guy that would have got him to ECU if he was on the staff. Rick Smith. I've been to that high school
his guy.
42 times. In my
Probably
life.
has, really.
I know. I asked him yesterday, did he know all the back roads in Florida and Georgia from recruiting? And he said he didn't need a GPS. I believe him.
McClenny, Florida is where Seth Page is from. I think that's outside of Jacksonville.
All right, there's City Speed.
There you go.
2 Florida kids.
End of your point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it. Okay.
I mean, anybody from Florida has City Speed, right?
Chris Johnson?
I guess so. Yeah, that's
we
Spider
thought about Keaton Mitchell earlier. He's going home to play.
Oh, yeah.
He's from the Atlanta area. So
Juwan Powell,
another kid. So
Dwayne Harris.
Yeah. Alpharetta.
Maybe Dwayne Harris will be there.
Stone Mountain.
Alpharetta was one of the baseball players, I think.
Alpharetta. There's been a couple guys from Alpharetta.
Yeah.
I remember Morgan Ayler saying it in Minji's. Alpharetta, Georgia.
And I know a few guys from Neptune, New Jersey. Scott Harley and Dan Gonzalez.
There you go.
Neptune, New Jersey. All right, final thoughts, Igo. You picked ECU to win. You feeling good? Confident?
I mean...
Okay, well, that's a no.
No. I picked him to win, though, so... You picked him to lose.
I did. Am I feeling confident? No. I
just think this game could go either way.
You have ECU in your survivor.
No, okay, so I had to make
because he's lame.
No, I'm not.
rolling with ECU.
I'm honest.
You did? I'm rolling with ECU in the survivor pool.
I'm honest.
They're going to come through. I feel it.
Who did you pick, Clip?
I picked Cincinnati, like you did.
So when are you guys going to pick ECU is the real question.
Next week.
Next week, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. You think they'll probably beat Temple again, right? Or Navy?
I was going to pick ECU, and Clip talked me out of it. So I'm with you, Steven.
I had a change of heart during the week. I need to see it to believe. This is a prove it Saturday to me.
Who are you going with again?
Cincinnati.
They're playing a FCS team or somebody bad, I think.
They play South Florida. Nice insult, Bill. South Florida. We'll bring that back up next week when ECU plays them.
I thought, well, I'll go with somebody bad.
Is South Florida D1? I don't know.
It was a lopsided matchup. I remember that.
I've been seeing quotes from Jeff Scott, South Florida's new coach, just about how they're, it's going to take time, et cetera, et cetera. It sounds like they're in for a big rebuilding year.
I'm sure me and Clip both take ECU next week, regardless of today.
Okay. I think ECU can go to Georgia State and
I'll
win.
take 'em.
I still have to see it to believe it. ECU beats South Florida. Like, they have to go do it for me. I think they can beat Georgia State. I don't think that's a big mental block. I think beating a quality
conference opponent,
like a legit conference team on the road is a problem.
Not name UConn.
The road opener thing, by the way, was sneaky in the game notes.
Yeah.
This week. 6-game losing streak and 2 and 16 since like 2001.
Wow.
ECU and its road opener.
Usually though, aren't they playing like
the
Power
matchups
Five
are
schools?
the matchups are tough, but some of them were
like this year should have been at South Carolina.
But I mean the road thing has been an issue.
I mean road period is tough. Though they won 2 last year on the road.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can do it today against Georgia State. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Got it.
Food should be arriving shortly if you want to stick around.
Hey, yo.
No jersey change today, but my boy went double-double last night.
Rondo?
Man.
I have not
he
watched
was
much of the
fire.
finals.
He was great.
When
Anthony
I saw
Davis
that Bam and Dragic were out, right? So I was like, I'm not going to worry for that about that.
Completely over.
All right, David Glenn coming up next. As we go to break, caller 12 is a winner. 317-1250. You win a case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue. Caller 12, 317-1250. We will make you a winner. And talk to DG, David Glenn, when we return on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. We're back with you after this.
Looking for your next career opportunity? How about some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned and operated Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring, and they would love to have you as part of the McFamily. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. Come join the family at McDonald's. Don't let this financial opportunity pass you by. Please visit DixonFoods.com to apply.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove is now offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes are good in New Bern and at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And now in New Bern on Glen Burnie Road.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port, and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
This is Sam Jones inviting you to join us for lunch, dinner, or takeout at Sam Jones Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out fresh food cooked over wood every single day. That's our Eastern North Carolina whole hog barbecue, slow-cooked chicken, smoked turkey, and spare ribs. There are no freezers here. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I'll bet you'll be able to taste the difference in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, did you miss a show on Pirate Radio? Well, listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on the Apple Podcast. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app on your iPhone or Apple device and search for the Pirate Radio audio archives. And congratulations to Charles Thomas of Chocowinity. He was our big winner, getting a case of Bud Light and a $25 gift card, courtesy of Parker's Barbecue. And now when we head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, congratulations, Charles. Big win for you on this Saturday. Pirates hoping to get a big win coming up when they take on Georgia State. We will talk to David Glenn in just a moment, looking at the other nooners coming up on this Saturday. ESPN at noon, it's South Carolina at Florida in the Swamp. At noon on Fox, Texas hosts TCU. Texas was in a wild shootout, comeback win over Texas Tech last week. Missouri at Tennessee on the SEC network at noon. NC State, man, they've been struggling to stop people so far this year. They are at Pittsburgh on the ACC network at noon. ECU and Georgia State, of course, on ESPNU coming up at noon. We are taking you right up to kickoff of that game, and we'll talk about that and more now with David Glenn, who joins us on the Fixed NC live line. Good morning, DG. How you doing?
Doing great, Clip. Good to talk with you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time, as always, DG. The Pirates are heading to Atlanta to take on Georgia State. Both of these teams 0-1. Both of these teams losing home games to ranked teams. So you got a similar situation when you look at the matchup today, David, and both maybe outmanned a little bit in their first matchups. But this looks like, on paper, a pretty even matchup between the Pirates and the Panthers today.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary. I mean, it's one thing to lose your opener, but it's another thing to lose to just quality opponents. You know, UCF's supposed to be a contender for the college football playoff, and Louisiana, which beat Georgia State, is supposed to be a contender for the Sun Belt title. So this is year 4 of Sean Elliott at Georgia State. He's made bowls 2 of his first 3 years. He's a former App State player and coach, or assistant coach. And obviously it's just year 2 of Mike Houston. So we'll see how far the Pirates have come from last year's losing record. Today's going to be a much bigger test of where they are than the predictable loss to UCF was.
And David, we've been talking all week about what we might see today that we didn't see last week. The passing game kind of stands out for ECU. You want to see Ehlers clicking, and a game where C.J. Johnson and Blake Prohl and Tyler Snead have 2 catches apiece is certainly not going to cut it. Also, the Pirates, have to clean up the fumbles. 4 turnovers in the game last week, and David, you mentioned that ECU needs to win the turnover battle by 4. They lose it by 4. A recipe for disaster. So, new week, new opponent. We'll see how they come out this week. But how about you, DG? What do the Pirates need to do that they didn't do last week to win this game?
Yeah, offensively, I agree with Coach Houston's bottom line. He said, if you told me somebody was going to play this ECU offense with a lot of man-to-man defense, I would have thought the Pirates would have made more plays, given the quality of Holton Ehlers at QB, but also Prohl and C.J. Johnson and Omatosho and others. So I'll look for a big step forward there, add Blake Prohl and others to that mix. Defensively, I just want to see if the Pirates have playmakers in their front 7. I haven't seen the latest update on Chris Willis. I know he was like a last-minute no-go last week against UCF, but he's an App State transfer that the Pirates expected to start at defensive end and maybe even be an impact player. They clearly need some help for veterans like Bruce Bivens at linebacker or even Xavier Smith. They got to find that next generation of playmakers to crash the pocket, harass the opposing quarterback. It's hard to be a consistently good football team if you don't have some playmakers in your front 7. And obviously the Pirates lost their big best at that a year ago, and they need to find that next generation.
David Glenn joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. And, David, this is pretty neat. Some Pirate fans have bought season tickets to Georgia State games so they could go watch this ECU football game today. That's really cool and says a lot about the Pirate Nation. And we've had Kenny check in with us. And let's see, Justin just gave us a stadium report. He said Pirate fans all over. And next time ECU returns home, they will be able to have a few fans in the stands. I guess we first saw that last night, right, David, in Winston-Salem with Wake Forest, as they were able to have a few when they put up a ton of points on the Campbell Fighting Camels last night.
Yeah, Wake is supposed to demolish Campbell, and that's exactly what they did. It's an interesting day today because whereas we all know Wake was going to beat Campbell, we all know that, Clemson is going to continue to roll tonight against UVA in this case. Duke and Carolina and NC State have challenges more along the lines of ECU's visit to Georgia State, because whereas Wake is supposed to crush Campbell, NC State is the underdog at top 25 Pitt, and Duke is the underdog hosting Virginia Tech. UNC is the favorite at Boston College, but BC is 2-0 so far. So a lot more on the line for the Pirates in those 3 triangle schools than was on the line last night for Wake Forest, for sure.
Yeah, and then those matchups somewhat intriguing. I'm interested to see, is Virginia Tech the real deal, David? They were without a lot of players last week, right? And they were still able to roll up a ton of points against NC State. The Hokies in Durham today at 4 o'clock.
It's hard to know, where are the Hokies when they've only played that one game against an NC State team that was missing a couple of its best defensive players and still hasn't figured out the quarterback position. I'm not sure we'll learn a lot more today about the Hokies because Duke, if you and I did a 1 through 15 ACC football power rankings, Duke is either 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
I mean, they look bad offensively. They look so defensively. So the Hokies could be 2-0, and everybody else saying, we'll say, State's not very good, and neither is Duke, so we might still not know much about the Hokies. We'll I think, learn more about teams like Carolina and State today, because Pitt is at the very least the real deal on defense. I mean, they have NFL caliber talent all over the defensive side of the ball, and that's a tough way to kind of find yourself offensively if you're NC State, right? I mean, they've gone through 2 quarterbacks again to this point in the season. You're on the road, and you're dealing with a Pat Narduzzi team that is really good at rushing the passer and even sometimes stuffing the run. So we'll learn more about the Pac today, and we'll probably learn a little bit more about the Tar Heels because BC, while not a great team, they have a new head coach in Jeff Hafley. He came from Ohio State, where he was a co-defensive coordinator, so he knows about winning on the gridiron. And BC looked, I think they were 17 points down late last week to North Texas, and they put together 17 straight points to get that win against a supposedly inferior opponent. So they're not great, the Eagles, but they're confident, and they like their new coach, and they believe in him, and that's a bigger challenge for Carolina than what we're seeing for some of these other teams.
Looking over the Saturday slate with DG, David Glenn. David, a question about Sunday before we let you go. What's more likely, your Eagles finally put together a full game and the injuries catch up with the 49ers and the Eagles get out of there with a win, or the in-state Carolina Panthers win their second straight game against an all of a sudden banged-up Cardinals team with DeAndre Hopkins a game-time decision? What's more likely out of those two scenarios?
That's a great question, man. I'd love to see both happen, but that is probably wishful thinking. I think the Panthers have a better chance. You know, the Panthers are going to be a real guessing game defensively, but I think most weeks, even without Christian McCaffrey, they have enough with Teddy Bridgewater and his supporting cast to be a competitive team offensively. Robbie Anderson has done some really good things. Obviously, the Mike Davis, the backup running back, has looked pretty darn good in McCaffrey's absence. So I don't like the Eagles' chances on the road against the 49ers, although you're right, that matchup looks a little different because of injury issues. Something's just not right with Philly. I hate to say that, but It is true. So I'll take the Panthers as having the better shot.
DG, good stuff as always, man. Enjoy checking with you here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We'll talk to you. We'll track you down next Saturday, a little bit later in the day. Pirates finally get off that noon schedule. They'll play a 7:00 against USF next Saturday. So we'll track you down again, David, and talk more football with you.
Sounds good, Clip. Good to be with you, bud. Good to see you earlier this week.
Yes, sir. You too. Enjoyed you stopping by the studio on the Pirate Radio Live earlier this week, and we'll check in with DG next Saturday on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We'll take a timeout. Big Dog, what you got over there?
The Pac-12 has announced their first game time of the year.
Okay.
USC and Arizona State will play at noon on the East Coast.
Herm.
Which is 9 a.m. on the West Coast.
Whoa. What?
Yep.
Why?
They will play at 9 a.m. on the West Coast for their first game of the season.
Why?
I don't know. It's got to be a TV thing.
Why?
It's got to be somehow that in order for them to get on Fox.
The only reason I wanted them back was for late night games that I could watch after being here all day.
Well, we're getting early morning games during the Bud Light.
Well,
tailgate.
We're not, because they're at noon. If they were 9 a.m. Eastern,
yeah, you're right,
cool.
you're right.
This is bogus all around.
This is double bogus.
Double
bogey.
Screw the Pac-12. I'm out on Pac-12. I'm not watching a single Pac-12 game this year. You heard it here first. Mountain West, don't make the same mistake. I will watch your games. I'll watch all of them if you start them at 9:30 or later. That is a guarantee. All right, good stuff, Glenn. We'll take a timeout, come back when we return. It's Masterclass Theater with Shirley Rhodes. We'll get to know Georgia State a little better right after this.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Unfortunately, many organizations today simply react to IT issues after the damage is done. This is known as the break-fix cycle in the tech service industry. University PC Care's Business Services Division has a better way, a proactive solution called BizCare. What's at your office? Call William at University PC Care today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Get your sports weekend started at Familia. Every Thursday, Familia has $2 drafts all day. Stop by with your friends and family for some New York-style pizza and have an ice-cold $2 draft. Sunday brunch is the best for food and family. Come and enjoy favorites like shrimp and grits, made-to-order omelets, French toast, and drink specials like $3 mimosas, beer mimosas, or $5 Bloody Marys. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and the Panthers for the one and only U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in the studio, and we'll be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250, plus reading your Facebook Live comments and your tweets at PR927FM. When the fourth quarter ends, it's the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Broad.
All right, a lot of line movement in this game. A couple days ago, Thursday, Georgia State was a 2.5-point favorite. I look at it now, ECU is a 1.5-point favorite. So I guess a lot of money coming in on the Pirates. Also, the total is up to 70, so expecting a high-scoring game coming up at noon on ESPNU. We'll take you up to that kickoff. Got Corey Glore joining us at 11 o'clock. Troy D, big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau as well. Corey, did you bring the Parkers?
No, I was not aware. I can go rush out and get it if you'd like.
I'm mistaken.
No, it's Troy's job to bring Parkers.
Oh, okay, all right. So that wasn't quick. Did Troy stop by his house and take the food there, and he's going to bring us a few hush puppies or something?
I do not know.
Okay, all right. Well, we're expecting the arrival of some awesome Parker's barbecue very soon. Shirley, let's knock out another edition of Football Masterclass Theater, as you did this for a faux pregame show, Central Arkansas versus Austin Peay. I liked it, so I said, Shirley, you have to do this every week now. You gave me the finger, but you still do it each and every week. Let's learn a little bit more about Georgia State.
And now it's time for another edition of your Football Masterclass Theater. Today we will learn about the Panthers of Georgia State. On April 17, 2008, Georgia State launched its football program. Later that year, former Georgia Tech, Alabama, and Kentucky head coach Bill Curry was hired as the Georgia State head coach, working on a 5-year contract. This was followed by the hiring of John Bond as offensive coordinator. Head coach John Thompson was hired as its first defensive coordinator. On January 4, 2009, Mark Hogan, the son of former Georgia Tech player Mark Hogan Sr., enrolled to play as wide receiver on scholarship, making him the first football player to receive a scholarship from Georgia State. The following month, the program signed its first recruiting class of 27 players, including 3-star running back Paris Lee. The Panthers wouldn't play football until the 2010 season, so the 2009 season was spent practicing at an NFL facility in downtown Atlanta. On September 2nd of 2010, Georgia State played its first football game and home opener against the Shorter Hawks, winning the game 41-7, and they would finish its inaugural year with a 6-5 record. Georgia State officially announced that it would join the Sun Belt Conference in 2012. The school began full membership in 2013, and Georgia State was a founding member of the Sun Belt Conference back in 1976. Sean Elliott, formerly the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at South Carolina, was introduced as Georgia State's third head football coach on December 9th of 2016. Among the accomplishments in Elliott's first 2 seasons were the first bowl victory in school history, Georgia State's first winning season as an FBS program. He set a school record with 7 victories and had 5 players signed to NFL free agent contracts and a first-round selection in the CFL draft. Georgia State's first bowl game was the 2015 AutoNation Cure Bowl when they lost to San Jose State 27-16. Their first bowl victory was in 2017 at the AutoNation Cure Bowl when Georgia State beat Western Kentucky 27-17. Notable alumni that have played professional football include Nick Arbuckle, who played in the CFL, Robert Davis, Penny Hart, Ulrich John, Will Lutz, Chandon Sullivan, Albert Wilson, and Brandon Wright all played in the NFL. The Panthers play in Georgia State Stadium, which is the former Turner Field and venue for Major League Baseball's Atlanta Braves that have been converted into the home of Panther football. And that is another edition of your Football Masterclass Theater.
Everybody knows all they need to know about the opponent today. Well done, Shirley Rhodes.
Thank you. And I had completely forgotten that there was an ECU tie between the two teams,
yes,
with John Thompson being their first defensive coordinator.
Old JT, former head coach of the Pirates.
I'm John Thompson.
This is John Thompson. All right, let's take a timeout. Come back, hour 4 of the Bud Light pregame tailgate on the way. We got a packed hour for you. Corey Glore will be here inside the Pirate Radio studios. Troy D, apparently taking pictures with Billy Parker instead of bringing the food here, will be here. The big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, will join us to talk about this game and also some other action this Saturday. Got Billy Weaver, Brian North. Busy hour 4 on the way after this.
It's bow time.
The barbecue sandwich from Bojangles is back. Wait, Bojangles has barbecue?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, okay then. We're talking tender pulled pork with a tangy Carolina vinegar kick. Unforgettably topped with our country coleslaw, all on perfectly toasted buns. So if you're like me and missed it last time, get your hands on a barbecue sandwich combo pronto.
It's bow time. If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Every team knows that the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show. Now, with the Pirate Radio scoreboard, here's Shirley Rhodes.
All right, there were 2 football games last night. Wake Forest defeated Campbell 66-14, and Louisiana Tech picked up their first loss of the season as they lost to 22nd-ranked BYU 45-14. Games coming up later on this afternoon at 4 o'clock. It'll be Duke hosting Virginia Tech. At 6, it'll be Navy at Air Force. At 7:30, 11th-ranked UCF will host Tulsa. Number 18, Oklahoma, is at Iowa State. Vanderbilt hosts number 20, LSU. 16th-ranked Mississippi State will host Arkansas, and number 7, Auburn, will be at number 4, Georgia. At 8 o'clock, number 1, Clemson will host Virginia. And, of course, the game's going on at noon, so it'll be kicking off in 55 minutes from now. It'll be NC State at Pitt, TCU at Texas, Florida hosting South Carolina, and Tennessee hosting Missouri. And that is a look at your Pirate Radio scoreboard. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes, Glenn Griffin, video production today, and Corey Glore, voice of the ECU Baseball Pirates, hanging out for Hour 4 of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Corey, you've been alongside such legends as Dr. Gary Overton, Malcolm Gray, and I'm just trying to fill in their shoes today and sit alongside you and have a good broadcast. When I say broadcast, that's not a good broadcast.
It is a step backward, I will be honest with you, but I appreciate the invite. And you should know, when you reached out to me to join you here, you said, like, yeah, so, talk football, there'll be callers coming in, all that stuff. There'll be Parker's Barbecue. It's like, all right, great. Thank you for the invite. I'll come on in. And then my phone read that as, on the events and the calendar, Barbecue with Clip.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it took our text, and now we have a lunch date.
With no lunch.
With no lunch, yeah.
Troy
he isn't here.
Hurry up. Get here. We're expecting.
Thank you for having me. I believe baseball is practicing today, by the way.
All right.
Like a little scrimmage going on.
Awesome.
I think they do. It's closed to the public.
And I've had this grand idea in mind that people are so hungry, thirsty, however you want to put it, for ECU baseball that if you could get something where fans are allowed in the stands, and maybe we can get a few now, that a purple gold game or some type of scrimmage would probably get a lot of interest over at Clark LeClaire Stadium at some point this fall.
I knew they were putting their scrimmaging last weekend, and I think last night they were at least doing a practice of some kind. But
awesome.
So if we want to talk baseball, that is my area of expertise.
All right.
But I haven't seen them yet. So
Myra had on Facebook, and Corey, we were just talking about this too, says, is Jeff Charles calling the game remotely? I think I heard you say that when he was in studio this morning. That is correct. Jeff Charles, Kevin Monroe, Marty Fuhrer will be here calling the game.
At Dowdy Ficklin, yeah.
Correct, at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. So there's a new wrinkle. Have you ever done that before, Corey, in your years of play-by-play?
I have never professionally called a game off a monitor. I think everyone in the industry started off by just sitting in front of a television and just calling a game, like as a kid, or playing Madden and calling it. Like that's kind of how my interest started, was doing that when I was younger, but never professionally like Jeff's about to do here, and how many broadcasters are doing. I believe the TV crew for this game is also remote, so like last week. So it is a new, very interesting wrinkle to college broadcasting this year. And Jeff mentioned that he is worried, and I am as well, as a broadcaster, that this might be where things are heading in this industry. I hope this is a 1-year deal for most everything, to kind of sit in one spot and call games from there. But that's where we are right now.
All right, Corey Glore is here, and let's head out to the Fixed NC Live line, talk to Jeff Nadeau, the big man on campus from Barstool Sports. He joins us to talk a little gambling here on a Saturday morning. Big man, how you doing today?
How are you guys?
Hey, doing good. Jeff, some breaking news as we get you on, and this is some big news.
Whoa.
From the NFL. Adam Schefter tweeting out 2 minutes ago that Cam Newton, Patriots quarterback, has tested positive. I'm assuming for COVID, he didn't say.
Yeah, Schefter left out what he's positive with.
But he's tested positive, is out for Sunday's game versus Kansas City, per Field Yates and Adam Schefter. That's some huge NFL news there, Jeff.
Yeah, move on. To me, listen. People are going to get the disease. People are going to have issues. They'll be fine in 10 days. Listen, I think the NFL knew this would happen, so I think you're right. It's bad news for New England, but yeah, it just is what it is. Injury. I kind of lump it in with the injury kind of thing. People get injuries. You just kind of have the next man up. So they're going to have to see what Stidham has, and yeah, it's rough news for Patriot fans, but yeah, it is what it is. I wonder, though, the NFL seems to be struggling just a little bit with the kind of issues. I mean, the baseball ranks haven't had a positive test in months at this point. Somebody's not following the rules here. I don't know what's going on. Tennessee's had a mess with it, so there needs to start being a little bit more, kind of oversight in what's going on, because this got in there somehow.
Man, interesting stuff there. With Cam Newton testing positive, will not play against the Chiefs on Sunday. Hopefully you didn't get those Patriots bets in. That game's just took a turn. Jeff, let's talk ECU and Georgia State. And we brought it up with you earlier this week. I don't think you had much interest in this game, but I do want to talk about the line movement. It was Georgia State by 2.5 on Thursday. Right now it's ECU minus 1.5. So that's a major movement in this line, Jeff. It sounds like a lot of people are on the Pirates today.
Yeah, I think sharp money is coming in on ECU. Look, as I said to you earlier in the week and on Thursday, I need to see something out of East Carolina. I've said to you multiple times, I didn't really understand their game plan in the second half. I guess they weren't looking to go crazy and show people a ton on film in a game they weren't going to win, but they need to be better. Georgia State's a team that they should look at and say, we can beat this group. But Georgia State has their own abilities. Cornelius Brown's a good quarterback. They did some good things against UL Lafayette. They almost won that game a couple of weeks ago. They're a good run team. Look, if this game turns into a game on the ground, it should be a kind of an interesting one, because I think ECU has some positivity there. Penix is a good running back, and Georgia State can run the football. But I get a weird feeling this game kind of just bows early, and these defenses just kind of have some trouble, and this game kind of turns into one of those shootouts involving two teams that you just really can't stop each other. I said before I would take Georgia State if they were near a pick'em or an underdog. Again, I'm not really sure I would lay points with East Carolina. So if I had to bet it, I would take Georgia State, but I won't be on this one.
I've called it a prove it Saturday for the Pirates, and we'll see if they can do that at noon in Atlanta. All right, Jeff, what's a game or two you're looking at for this Saturday slate?
Well, I think for me, first out of the gate here, early on, I think the slate's tough, but TCU Texas is an interesting game. I mean, TCU, the number's just gotten destroyed. If you like TCU and you haven't gotten it in, you kind of missed out. This number's down to 10.5, and you're starting to wonder if maybe there's some value. And if there is value. And Texas was 10 at one point. Bettors kind of jumped in and grabbed it, and bet the 10, and now it's back up to 10.5. So, you look at TCU. I like their quarterback play. I think Max Duggan has some real positive momentum going forward. They didn't win last week, but I thought he was really good. I think Texas games kind of turned into shootouts. That's just kind of what they do. It seems like their defense hasn't exactly figured it out after last week's mess of a defensive performance. And, TCU can move the ball. They have some good skill position players. In Texas, we know what they can do with Sam Ehlinger. At 62, I feel like this game is kind of one of those 41-24 type of games. I think Texas will push 40. I think TCU's good for probably the mid-20s. I thought 62 is a bit low. I'd have put this one more around 64.5, 65. But on the early noon card, I think it's a pretty tough slate. The rest of the card, Clip, it's so odd because the game that I would go to is Navy Air Force. And Air Force is a team that hasn't played a game yet. I detailed earlier in the week on your show some of the concerns that Air Force has. They have 40 players that have opted out, most of them due to eligibility. So none of them are sick or anything or worried about getting sick. They just don't want to exhaust the year of eligibility. They do have some real good parts back. Offensively, their whole offensive line's back. They have 5 starters, including 2 Outland Trophy type of players. They have a running back in Caden Remsburg who can move the ball, and that triple option should have some success today against a Navy defense that struggled. But Clip, you're in the AAC. The Navy beat Tulane. They scored 27 unanswered to beat the Green Wave, and I got to tell you, their quarterback looked really good. Navy's. I thought he was able to command the offense. They even threw the ball a little bit. He was 6 for 11 from throwing the ball. So, Navy's added a new wrinkle. They're off a bye week. They're just more prepared here in this game. Teams that start their seasons kind of struggle, as we've seen, the ones that have kind of started late and haven't had much practice time. So I think the Naval Academies, you can get them anything under 7. I think they're a play. If you can't get 7 or under, I think the over has value. We kind of just assume that these two teams are going to keep the ball on the ground, and this is 21-13. These offenses are going to move the football. Neither defense, I think, is very good. Air Force just has 1 starter back. So if you can't get to 7 or under, I would maybe lean over the number. I think this game could be, 31-23, something like that.
Jeff, we're up against it, but we do have a couple of Bears fans here in studio. Welcome Troy D to the show. Hello, Troy.
Good to see you guys.
Corey Glore here as well. And I know last week you jumped on the Bears, I think at halftime, and had them money line in their comeback. I was watching you on the Barstool stream there in the Philly Gambling House. But while we got you here, Jeff, before we let you go, Colts-Bears, interesting matchup on Sunday. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I can say the nickname on air, so I won't. But we know what Nick Foles is capable of. I mean, he should have been the starter at the beginning of the season. Look, I think Indy stinks. I think defensively they're bad. That's where this game's going to be won for Chicago. I think they find a way. Look, I don't know if they should be 4-0, but I think they're going to be after this week. I don't love Phillip Rivers. He showed his age, and I don't trust that defense, as I said. This is where these two teams kind of differ for me. I'll lean with Nick Foles, the best quarterback in the Eagles' history, and he wins tomorrow against Indy. I don't trust Phillip Rivers.
Jeff Nadeau joining us, big man on campus, Barstool Sports. Jeff, enjoyed it, man. We will recap the weekend and talk more with you on Monday's edition of Pirate Radio Live, and we'll follow you on Twitter this weekend, see if you got any more plays for us.
Thank you, Clip. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks. There's the BMOC. Jeff Nadeau likes your Bears.
Yeah, Big Nick Foles has pumped in new energy to this Bears organization, the fan base. I mean, people are fired up about the Bears with his leadership right now. I don't know if you feel it, Corey.
I'm eternally pessimistic when it comes to my sports teams, but does he outweigh the loss of Tariq Cohen? That's what I want to see tomorrow.
Yeah, and that is a loss, but if you got to take one or the other, I'm taking Nick Foles.
And Mitchell, he's athletic. You can put him at running back. Have they tried him at receiver? Trubisky?
I mean,
maybe could he be tight end?
The Bears love their tight ends.
Wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should get creative and do that.
Nick Foles in the lineup. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back.
Breaking news clip.
What's that?
Parker's Barbecue is here and ready to go.
See the cup.
Yeah.
All right.
And sometimes it's tough. So you got to wear a lot of hats around here. Sometimes I'm the station owner. Other times I'm food delivery driver.
Yeah.
It has been delivered. I brought it in. Do you know how hard it was not to snack on it on the way?
So hard that you did snack on it.
I did not. No, I did not touch anything. I wanted you guys to eat first before I started to be a pig.
All right, what a guy, Troy D. Thank you.
But we'll give the rundown. An awesome spread today for you from Parker's Barbecue.
Looking forward to that. We'll talk more to Corey Glower, Troy D, Billy Weaver on the other side. We're back after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Cadillac Escalade and save over $13,000 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. For the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner, be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
Back with you, Hour 4 of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. This show absolutely flies by. Shirley, see if you can hook up with Billy Weaver on the Fixed NC Live line. Got Corey Glower and Troy D inside the Pirate Radio studios. And Troy, we've heard from, we'll get to you in a moment. Corey, how about your thoughts on last week and what you want to see different today when ECU takes on Georgia State?
I liked a lot of the first half that I saw from ECU. You can't fumble 3 possessions in a row at midfield, and that's especially against a good team like UCF. Any team, you'll lose that game. A top 15 ranked team, you're going to see what happened towards the end of the second quarter. I love the running game, and I thought that I think today the offensive line, whoever is in there, is going to be able to open up more running lanes than even last week against what is a predominantly 3-4 defense that Georgia State will bring. So the 4 running backs that ECU is going to bring, and I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more QB draws today.
Get Holton involved in the run game.
Get Holton involved in the run game to open things up in the pass game downfield, because there was no open receiver last week. I think you're going to get that a little bit more today. You just might need to get the running game going first to have that happen.
Troy, we want to see Holton involved, and Corey mentions the run game. In the run game, pass game, however he can. Got to see a better performance from the offense today against Georgia State.
Yeah, big picture, I want to see high energy today. I want to see this team play with a sense of urgency, like their hair is on fire. I think this is one of those games where they come out and let's make a statement with Mike Houston and this team, and let's get things going in the right direction. Let's get a victory, and then you can take that momentum and build on it next week. But I think this team really needs to come out of the gate, and they came out of the gate strong last week, but they need to sustain it. They need to continue it, play with that sense of urgency, and they're going to have to create the energy down there. There are going to be fans in the stands. There are Pirate fans that are there, so it's a little bit different atmosphere, even though they did have a handful of parents that were at the game last week. But the fans that made the journey today, they're pretty rabid. I mean, if you drove to Atlanta, they're the ones I know that went there are fired up to be there. I think the team needs to be just as fired up and really have a sense of urgency to notch the W.
And they have something to rally around Darius this week too, and so you don't know what he's going to be like today, and understandable however he plays, but they have something in that team to rally around this week with the week that he's had.
All right, let's head out to the Fixed NC Live line while we're talking about keys to the game. Let's get Billy Weaver's keys to today's game. WIT and Sports Director Billy Weaver joining us. Weave, how you doing, man?
Doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Troy just brought some Parker's Barbecue, so we are all smiles.
Oh, man. How come you didn't let me know ahead of time?
Weave, look, there'll be plenty of food here all day. Come on down.
We'll work for food.
He has a sign that says that. Yeah, he holds it up.
I know, right?
It's not too late to stop by.
I should head on down to the studio.
Come on down.
Hey, we got plenty.
Parker's Barbecue, man, that's always on the top of my list.
The more the merrier.
When it comes to tailgating food, game day food, whatever, that's at the top of the list right there.
And we got plenty of it here, so come on down, Weave. We've offense.
Hey, wait, whoa. But the big question is, do you have banana pudding?
No, we actually went with apple crispitos. Am I pronouncing it right? Where's Shirley where I need her?
I think Shirley's getting a second.
It's like
she's getting some apple crispitos.
Glenn, you're my consultant on that.
It is a crispito, but that is what Shirley's getting. She left Studio B to go.
Oh, she's doubling down then because you already had one. So we opted for the apple crisps instead, which is like an apple turnover rolled up in like a kind of a. Corey, how would you describe it to folks that aren't familiar with it?
I'm a newbie to that. I've never had one before.
So it's like an apple turnover.
It looks like an egg roll.
Yeah, that's like a longer, thinner egg roll. They're fantastic. I highly recommend you try one. I know how much you're a banana pudding guy, but expand your horizons a little bit.
Oh, no, yeah. We've had those there in the studio before when we've had Parker's. I like those. I just like the banana. I'm a Southern guy, and banana pudding, I grew up on Mom's banana pudding, so that's about as close to Mom's banana.
They do a good job.
Nobody makes Mom's. I don't care who you are. Your mother always makes the better of whatever. But if you can find somebody close to Mom's cooking, that's where it's at, and that's the banana pudding that Parker's had.
When Weave eats that banana pudding, like back on the press box, he was like that guy on PBS that would just eat and go,
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Billy, let's get your keys to the game, starting with the offense. What do the Pirates need to do today for victory?
Well, I think you guys mentioned it. They've got to stretch the field offensively and get some of their talented receivers into the mix. I mean, C.J. Johnson had a touchdown catch in the UCF game, but for the most part, the receivers, there's so many talented receivers that they have. I did like seeing Audio Matosho get into the mix and really, we had heard a lot about him in the preseason. Of course, with fall camp, this was a different deal with COVID and everything, and us not being able to go as media members out there and really kind of scout camp in a personal sense. You had to kind of listen to what the coaches had to say about, you had to ask questions on who stood out during fall practices and workouts and things like that. And we heard a lot about Audio Matosho and his second year in the system now, and that showed on the field against UCF. Now the other guys have to come in and make some things happen. And I think obviously, the most obvious key is the turnover department. I mean, East Carolina can't turn the ball over a bunch. We knew that against UCF. When you make turnovers against a really good team like UCF, you're going to pay for it, and they did. And that's no different when you go on the road and take on a team like Georgia State. Any team that you play, offensively, you've got to hold on to the football and you got to sustain drives. So I think if East Carolina can sustain some drives and keep that defense off the field and let them kind of rest up a little bit. The defense played way too much against UCF. So I think, sustaining drives, keeping that offense on the field, no turnovers, and getting your playmakers into the game, and ECU will be successful.
Billy Weaver joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. A key to the defense is having the best available players able to play, and Stephen Igo just texted a moment ago that Chris Willis is in uniform, did not play last week for ECU, so that's a plus on the defensive end for the Pirates. How about defensively for ECU? What's the key in your eyes?
Well, the offensive line for Georgia State's pretty stout. I mean, they've got some talent on that offensive line, and their head coach is a former offensive line coach, so they put a lot of emphasis on that offensive line. So they're going to want to try and push East Carolina's relatively young defense. They're going to want to try and push them around and establish the run. And I think if they can establish the run, if Georgia State can establish the run, it's going to open up things for them because their quarterback hasn't shown that he is the best throwing quarterback. He's very mobile, of course. So East Carolina has to. I think the biggest key defensively for East Carolina is being successful on first and second down and forcing Georgia State into third and longs and forcing them into throwing situations, which I think they're a little bit less comfortable throwing the football than they are running and using their mobile quarterback to make things happen. So if you put their quarterback in a situation where he's constantly in third and long situations, I think that's going to bode well for East Carolina.
Billy Weaver, WITN Sports Director, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We've enjoyed it as always, man. Come on down and get you some Parkers. Send us some time today.
I think I might have to make the trip down there and hang out with you guys.
All right, there you go. All it takes is some food, Troy D. Some Parker's Barbecue.
The reason why I'm a popular guy here today, not because
it's the reason why I'm here.
That is true.
I had a feeling if full spread of Parkers, it would put everyone smile on their face. So
indeed.
Hey, I tell you what, there's us media members. We're really simple animals.
Yes.
And
totally.
A lot of people have figured that out. If you want anything covered from the media, just offer food. Say, hey, we're going to have a spread of food. Come on out for this press conference. It doesn't matter what the press conference is. You mention food, and there'll be food there, and you'll have all the media in the world.
One of the biggest media events of the year is the one the the high school conference does at Parker's Barbecue, Billy.
The Pitt County.
Football
media day
expands
which
out.
Is at Parker's, yeah.
And man, that thing is packed with just fat guys like me covering high school football.
Well, they do family style at that. That's pretty good.
So it's awesome.
Oh man, that's a good day. You know what? We didn't have that this year. That's one of the things. Maybe we can do that for some spring football.
Exactly.
It's going to be winter football. Let's not kid ourselves. But for spring high school football, maybe we'll have the Parker's Barbecue, the Eastern Carolina 3A 4A Media Day. That'd be awesome.
We've good stuff, man. Enjoyed it. We'll check in with you after the game on the fifth quarter.
All right, see you guys.
All right, there is Billy Weaver, WITN Sports.
That is one. Occasionally, we'll have media conference or press conferences. I'll say, "Clip, do you want?" And you're like, and I'll say, "Hey, this one's at Parker's Barbecue. It's gonna
I've gone to that one every year.
It's gonna be all you could eat. You might need to do an interview or two. No, I'm good. I got that one."
Jordan Anders chiming in, formerly of the Daily Reflector, says, "I miss that media day at Parker's so much. Like that's the only thing he misses about his old job."
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as media days go in food, that's one of the best because it is held on location at the facility making the food too. So there's unlimited food supply. Sometimes even at a cater job, they could run out of certain items, right? But when you're at the restaurant, there's no running out.
And we eat and then do the interviews, and I'm like struggling to get out of my chair. Like, God, I got to do these interviews now.
Do you know how hard it is to do a high school football interview in a food coma?
Folks, you just don't
understand.
know
the struggle.
You'll never understand what we go through.
The plight of our industry.
I mean, I know everyone has their problems, but we've got ours too.
Yeah, we do. All right, speaking of food, Brian North loves to talk about food. We'll check in with him next. Get more with Corey Glore, Troy D. here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. We roll on hour number 4 after this. At
Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
The Man Cave Salon for Men was built on the concept to serve only men. The Man Cave is the place for men to get together and take care of themselves. I'm Amanda from the Man Cave, and we offer professional manicures, pedicures, and a salon for all your hair care needs in a true masculine environment. Go to our website at mancaveandnails.com and book your appointment today. The Man Cave, now open on the corner of Evans and Fire Tower. Stop into the Man Cave and get your best life.
The Frowls family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frowls family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
This is Coach Blake Carroll, defense coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, Pirate fans, listen to Pirate Radio live every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6 on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 FM in Washington, or watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. PRL is hosted by Clip Brock and yours truly, and features the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all of your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like Troy D. and Ellerby, The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Coach Rick Smith, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, and more. Join us this Monday starting at 3 o'clock for Pirate Radio Live right here on the voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Hope you are checking out our social media sites as you watch us and listen to us on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Pirate Radio putting out some videos of the Pirates warming up and huddling there on the field at Georgia State as they get ready to take on the Panthers today. Pirates in the white breeches, white tops, and purple helmets today, Troy D. How you feel about that combo?
White, purple helmet. Yeah. I like it a lot better than the all white with the white. I'm not a big fan of the white helmets. That's just me personally. I don't mind the white jerseys with the purple helmets. I kind of like the purple helmet with purple pants and the white jerseys. But this is a a clean look to.
All right, so you're okay with it?
I'm okay with it.
All right, that's all I think. Okay, we're good to go.
I don't think it'll be a factor today.
Really?
Yeah.
Troy D's stamp.
If it was a white helmet, this could be an issue.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, you know why I stand on the white helmets.
I do.
That line's going to move back.
Vegas looks to see what color helmet they're wearing.
If you look at the history with white helmets, it's not a good one.
It's not pretty. I'll give you that. All right, Brian North joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Brian, we are stuffing our faces with Parker's Barbecue. Wish you were here.
Yeah, that sounds good, although the terrorists just made us go through Chick-fil-A. Is Chick-fil-A a sponsor of the show?
They're a friend of the station. Nothing wrong with Chick-fil-A. Okay. Yeah, we like Chick-fil-A.
So, the terrorist demanded Chick-fil-A, so we just went through. She's now stuffing waffle fries in her face, so we're all quiet in the car.
For folks that don't know, Brian, can you explain who? So someone's tuning in, may not know.
I'm new to this, Brian.
Yeah,
so if you could elaborate.
I know who you're referring to when you say the terrorist, but someone might take that the wrong way.
I was about to call the cops. I'm worrying for Brian's life.
A 20-month-old child who holds us hostage almost every day for the things that she wants. She is affectionately known as the terrorist.
Yes. So,
Brian, blink if you're okay.
You should put out a hostage video.
Well, I don't know if I'm okay, but we're not in any danger at this point.
Brian, are the Pirates in danger of going to 0-2 today against Georgia State?
Sure.
Unbelievable.
He's a
pro.
Thank you.
They've really built a nice program in a short period of time there, and John Thompson was part of it, right? He was defensive coordinator there when they first started up the program after he left ECU and was there for a couple of years with Bill Curry, and so. But they've really, in the last few years, they've really gone leaps and bounds in that program, like Old Dominion, establishing a good program right off the bat and building a program in 10 years is pretty remarkable. And they've done that, and they're competing for Big South titles, and so they're very, very dangerous team.
And you're right about everything you said. It's just a tad comical, right, to say John Thompson laid the foundation for this program.
Funny. That just brought back a memory. I was in Atlanta years ago for some conference, and I ran into John Thompson. I think I told this story back in the day clip, you might remember, at the Marriott Marquis of all places.
Of course.
Which was a famous
Troy D. headquarters.
Hotel from the Peach Bowl. But I ran into John Thompson. He looked at me, and he knew me, but he wasn't sure where. These coaches travel so much, and it had probably been a few years since I had seen him. He's like, yeah, and he had me. He couldn't really place it. I said, Troy Pirate Radio in Greenville. Oh yeah, hey buddy. He was the defensive coordinator at Georgia State back then, and still super nice guy. He was always a super nice guy, and I do remember. Yeah, you're right though, Brian. He was one of the guys that helped to get that program kind of started.
Yeah, they played at Campbell one year, and I stopped in and saw him after the game, and he was so nice and. Which he always was. When he was at ECU, he was one of the nicest coaches you could ever interact with, and so when I saw him at Georgia State, he was affable, and he was like, "Oh man, ECU, gosh, wish we could have done better." Those things, but super nice guy. Then went the high school route for a while, and now he's out of the business. But there is that little connection there that he has been at both schools, and maybe not at either school's best years by any means, but there is that little neat connection. But since then, look, Bill Curry laid the foundation to getting that program started. They've changed coaches a couple of times, and now they've hit on something. And again, a very dangerous Panther team that ECU can win the game. There's no doubt, but this is not going to be one of those walkover wins you think when you first see it on the schedule if you're not very knowledgeable of college football.
Corey's right here. I was going to bring you up in a moment. Brian, Ronnie and I were talking about this, and then Corey and I spoke about it, I think off air, that the total of this game in Vegas, the over-under is 70. Georgia State's going to run the football. If ECU, if Deontay Smith and others are out of the tackle position, the Pirates might run the football more than they usually do, and they ran it a lot last week. This could be a shorter game with teams running the football. Then again, if neither team can stop the run, you could see points fly on the board. So is it a shootout today, Brian? Is it a slower paced game? What kind of game do you think we see?
No, I think you're going to see, if you're a gambling degenerate, sounds like you took the underclip, so I'll go with you, and I'll say that they probably won't combine for 70. I don't see that happening. I really think for ECU, with that young defense, you got to kind of keep them off the field as much as you can. So I think Mike Houston, you look at what he's done, the places he's gone, he wants to run the ball and control the clock, right? Now, he's got some great weapons with ECU, and you want to throw it a little bit, but his MO, and when he gets his programs established in that short period of time, it's running the football. And I think he's going to want to try and do that today. When you go on the road, limit possessions for the other team, keep your young defense off the field as much as possible. And so, no, definitely shorten the game. I don't think there's any way they reach 7.
I said 82 earlier this week, 42-40, so I'm way off. So, yeah, take the under, folks. That's what you need to do.
Well, it hasn't happened yet. You might be way on.
I like my money too much.
Brian, don't let the terrorists win, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good, guys.
There's Brian North, WCTI 12 sports director, joining us on the Fixed NC Live Line. Pirates and Panthers going at it about 20 minutes from now, guys. It's getting real.
It is. And this show has flown by. I've been listening since 8 a.m. Great flow of the show. Or
show flow?
Show flow, I guess would be the proper term, yes. It's been an action-packed program.
Thank you.
I've been watching from the jump. It's been very enjoyable, except for Bailey.
Wow. Let's start a new feud here. Corey Glover versus Bailey out of the blue. I like that.
You're going to have to bump Tyler Feldman out of that role.
That's a hard guy to bump out of that
role. Good point. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Final segment of the show. We'll have some celebrity pickers here. We pick a player, pick to click, fantasy football type thing. Pick one guy who's going to have the best stats today for ECU. We'll go around the horn. Everybody pick a player. You guys can be a part of that.
All right, sounds good.
So get ready.
I'm excited.
Get mentally focused for that. All right, we'll do that when we return on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate after this.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients, from our toppings bars, or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
This is Dr. Liz Robinson from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville. Our practice offers a variety of orthopedic services, including arthroscopic surgery, sports medicine, total joint replacement, as well as general orthopedic care. We also provide on-site physical therapy and on-site MRIs at our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard in Greenville. For experience in professional medical care, call us at 757-2663 or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing services to Eastern North Carolina and the Pirate Nation for more than 35 years. Go Pirates.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove is now offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes are good in New Bern and at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And now in New Bern on Glen Burnie Road.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and Georgia State for the one and only U.S. Cellular fifth quarter postgame call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in the studio, and we'll be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250, plus reading your Facebook Live comments and tweets at PR927FM. When the fourth quarter ends, the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show begins right here on the voice of the Pirate Nation. A clip as we head back in to the Bud Light pregame tailgate. I was just looking on our live feed, our Facebook Live, and Justin Butts says Willis is dressed and currently on the field. That was about 10 minutes ago.
He's on the field.
So
that is good news.
That is good news.
And I saw earlier, we mentioned Darius Penix, the passing of his father last weekend. I saw a picture that ECU football put out on their social media of Penix at his locker. Different number today. He'll be wearing the 40 in honor of his dad, which is really cool. And looks like he's going to give it a go. I know Donnie Kirkpatrick said earlier this week that he wants to play. And even Troy, I think you were here when he brought up the Brett Favre game, playing for his father who passed away. And
probably had his best game ever.
Maybe you get some magic like that. But it's been a brutal week for him. But Donnie said a lot of teammates, coaches, and fans and friends have his back going into this.
You just don't know how a kid is going to respond off of something like this when they're tasked to playing a football game and being a starting running back. So he could have a massive performance here today. He could not have one. That's why I think the running game here today is going to have a decent amount of success supporting Penix, whether he's a part of it or not here today, because one, I think they'll have more lanes open to them even more than last week, and two, they have someone to really get behind today.
Redbeard, internet troll who doesn't like anything, says we need more Corey Glore on the pregame tailgate.
Wow, that's a vote of confidence.
Is that a bless your heart scenario there if you just said he doesn't like anything?
Yeah.
I've grown accustomed to what bless your heart means since moving to the South. But thank you, Redbeard.
He likes you, I guess.
I mean,
if you want a guy in your corner,
price is steep.
It's a fake internet troll named Redbeard. That's who you want.
Well, he's a real person. I've met him though.
He's been at the Pirate Radio party.
Yeah, no, he's like I've
what's his name
with him. I'd rather not say his name. I don't know if he wants his name out there.
Do you know it?
I do know it, but I don't want to say it.
Does he have a red beard?
No. Actually, well, it's kind of brownish.
Yeah,
it's brownish reddish. You know,
kind of a bronze.
But it's not. He's not like a redhead. I don't consider him that.
No, he's Redbeard. He is our Redbeard. All right.
But he is a real person, is my point.
Chandler showed up 3.5 hours into the show to eat Parker's. Thanks, Chandler, for your work today. What? What else is he doing? He's sitting there. Later. Oh, okay. He's got stuff to do. Chan will be helping out on the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show while Glenn is zooming with Mike Houston. Chan will be handling the video production. So we're all hands on deck for the post game. That includes Rick Smith, Troy D.
Yes,
who will be a part of the show.
Coach did a great job last week, and we've retained his services all season. So he'll be here with us every fifth quarter this year. So. I loved hearing Coach's perspective on things.
Had a lot of good questions for him last week, and we'll have some, I'm sure, after today's game. Big Dog, Big Biscuit, what you got?
I just want to bring up the Friday before the first game of the season that Rick Smith came into this office, and I overheard a conversation between him and Troy where he was pulling Troy's leg, telling him he didn't want to do the fifth quarter, dang it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Let me tell you something. So I was like, "You excited about tomorrow?" He's like, "No, I'm not excited. I told you I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk to fans after the game." And I at first I thought he was joking.
No, I thought he was dead serious.
I didn't realize Glenn was listening. He was over in his office the other way. And I mean, he went on for like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, Coach, what are you talking about? Like
I started listening when you said, Coach, what are you talking about? And he said, I told you I didn't want to do it. And I was like, oh God, I got to get on the phone with somebody. I got to book somebody. We got to get somebody else in here. We got to get Bryce off the fishing boat in here on a Saturday. Impossible.
I'm in the middle of the ocean. I can't.
I mean, he had me. I told Ellerby, I said he had me going more than anybody I've ever. And he's a great character actor because he did not. I mean, he was dead serious.
His voice didn't break.
Yeah,
I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker.
He doesn't do that a lot. So when he does, you get caught off guard.
He's not like a jokester.
He's not.
I don't think of him of Coach at the Chuckle Hut. You know, I mean, he's not one of those guys that's always clowning around.
As someone who traffics in sarcastic humor, it can really catch people off guard.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't like just for a minute or two. This thing went on 5-10 minutes. I'm like, what? Trying to then convince him to come do the show, and I thought we had an agreement. And I'm just messing with you. Like, damn, you got me.
I forgot our buddy Terrence calls us chicken and waffles for some reason.
That's we go together like chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, that's from our occasional weekly hits when there's baseball season.
There you go. That's right.
Would I be the syrup?
Yes, you're
a pat of butter, my man.
I'll take what I can get, Corey.
Like butter. All right, so last week our fantasy picks were kind of duds because ECU got nothing going in the pass game, and I took Chase Hayden and he fumbled in his first carry as a Pirate, so that didn't go well. This week we will go around the horn. All pick a player. Hold Nailers off the table. Can we agree on that? We'll take a skill guy. You can take a defensive player. You get points for tackles, interceptions, fumbles, things like that. Corey, this is your first time. I usually let Shirley go first, but Shirley, you can go second. Is that cool today? We'll let Corey go first.
I have no issue with Shirley going first.
No, I'm fine with it. Go ahead,
I'd like
Corey.
to get oh my goodness.
All right, if you'd like to trade your draft pick, you can.
I think I have my player in mind here. I just want to make sure this is not coming off of last week. It's not an improvement off of last week. It's just who I think is going to have a good game today.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving Keaton Mitchell today.
All right.
I think his speed threat once he gets through the front three of Georgia State is going to cause some problems today.
All right, Keaton Mitchell, who saw us a lot of time there at the end of the game, and when the game was still a game, we saw him in there making plays for the Pirates. All right, Shirley?
I'm going to go with Blake Prohl.
Blake Prohl.
He's been solid. I wanted to stick with Tyler for another week, but I just think they're going to key in on him too, so I'm going to go with Blake.
Troy D, as a somewhat newcomer to this segment of the show, we'll let you go next.
Yeah, I'm going to take the guy who's had the most adversity this week, but I think he's going to use that for a real positive outcome today, and I think he needs an outlet, and this is the outlet he needs. I'm going Darius Penix.
Okay, Darius Penix finding the end zone today for the Pirates like he did last week would be nice. Glenn, you get C.J. Johnson again?
Yeah. I mean, I wish we did.
Thank you, Glenn.
I mean, I kind of wish we hadn't talked about Darius so much because that was the obvious pick, I think. And now, like, I put up a few videos of him warming up on the field, and he looks ready for the war. Like
locked in.
He's locked in. He's ready to go.
I like that my pick slid this long because Tyler Snead was shut down last week. I don't think it can happen 2 times in a row, so I'm going to take Tyler Snead to have 6 catches today, around 100 yards, and maybe find the end zone.
Could Chase Hayden have a redemption day, too?
I think it's a redemption day for a lot of the offensive guys.
Yeah.
I mean, across the board, and like Blake Prohl, Shirley's pick, 2 catches last week, CJ 2, Tyler Snead 2, Hayden fumble. I think all these guys are wanting to bounce back this week.
I agree, 100%. I think this is a really great chance for them to prove what this team's all about right now.
And you heard Mike Houston, we talked about it earlier in the show, how locked in and intense, I think Glenn would use the word on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was on Thursday. You just hope the team has that attitude heading into this one.
Yeah, I think, he is hungry for a win, but he can't play the game. He's got to make sure these players are ready. And I don't know. I just got a feeling about this. I didn't feel good going into last week, guys. I just didn't have.
It's the top 13 team in the nation.
Yeah, I thought the talent who we were playing was tough. I thought it was a long offseason.
Yes.
We had, as I said before in the post game, we had no spring ball. We had no summer workouts. Even the preseason camp was disjointed twice.
UCF had already had a challenge before facing ECU.
Correct.
Playing Georgia
so you had
Tech.
everything like stacking up against ECU in the wrong way. I feel like they can have a little bit of momentum right now. They got a game underneath their belt. They know what to expect. I just have a better feeling today.
And
Chandler needs
I
to pick
like
too.
the fact that how much confusion there was last weekend with Georgia State, and have they had time to flush a Charlotte game plan out without playing a game and get recalibrated for this game here today? It was 3 days of kind of chaos for them of figuring out what's
very
going
disjointed.
on. It wasn't postponing a week in advance. They pulled the plug quick, and then they had to reinsert it for a completely different opponent.
That's a good point.
It'll be interesting to see how they come out to start.
Yeah.
Chandler goes from the back row to the front row and makes a last-minute pick here. Chandler, sorry, we took a lot of players.
No, that's fine.
You still got a lot to choose from.
I've got my player. Usually when we go with the deep ball, you usually see the number 5 car out there. I'm going to go with Omatosho.
Audi Omatosho.
Expect Holton to heave some balls to him today down the field.
If you had him last week, you'd have been right there in the mix.
Yeah, I think he should be a big performer today too.
Hoping this passing game gets clicking. All right, that about wraps it up. Any
Great
final
show.
thoughts, Troy did?
Go Pirates.
Corey?
Arg. Keep it simple, baby.
Purple.
Gold.
Shirley, great job. Chandler, your 23 minutes here really put the show over the top.
That Parker's is great, by the way.
Yeah.
You eat my sandwich back there, Chandler.
I'm having a great food selection today. I had CD's Grill this morning for breakfast.
Man, you're on a roll, brother.
And now Parker's for lunch.
Hey,
I'm rolling.
Chandler, get me in the mood. Are the Pirates gonna do what today?
They're going to win, baby.
Pirates gonna win, as Chandler would say.
A winning Saturday. All right. Thank you for joining us, for chiming in. We love interacting with you, the people, and appreciate you watching us. And do the same after the game on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show. We'll be with you, of course, on our radio stations, online, and also you can watch us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Going to be a big show after ECU and Georgia State. For Shirley, Glenn, Chandler, Troy, Corey, and everybody who was a part of today's show, I am Clip Brock. Go Pirates!
You've been listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates. Stay tuned and join us after the game for a complete recap and your phone calls on the U.S. Cellular 5th Quarter Call-In Show, right here.